From Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium here in Canton, Ohio, it is the Division V High School Football State Championship game as the Kirtland Hornets look to continue a remarkable dynasty-like run as they will face off against the Tigers from Versailles High School. As you get a look live at the Hall of Fame Stadium field as the Kirtland Marching Band finishes up, and we welcome you inside booth number 13 here at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. I'm Dave DiNatale. Tyler Carey will join me in just a second. Tonight is the night for Kirtland. They are the three-time defending state champions, if you count Division VI back in 2018, and then, of course, winning in Division V in 2019 and 2020. They have won 3 consecutive state championships. They have won 55 straight games, counting regular season and postseason. That is second highest in the history of the state of Ohio, 2 off of the all-time record. It is also the longest active streak in the United States in terms of high school football. All of that is on the line tonight as the Hornets defend their crown against a team in the Versailles Tigers that understands, to a point, being a dynasty, but it's a dynasty from kind of another era. As Tyler Carey now joins me here, and
not quite the Colin Cowherd slide, but I'm happy to just kind of ease my way into the broadcast.
Indeed, and after 4 seasons of doing so much of the behind-the-scenes work, it's a pleasure to have you with me tonight to call this game. And TC, I was about to say, Versailles in another era, they were where Kirtland is right now.
Yep.
Between you go back 1990 to 2003, they won 6 championships in that stretch. So they have a history, but it's been a while. You have to go back to 2003 since the last time they've been here. But Ryan Jones, in his 3rd year as the helm of the Tigers, has them back now and reliving those glory days. And they think now the time has come for them to finally climb. We always talk about climbing the mountain, and we talked about that with Hoban and Chardon and some of the other teams. Versailles thinks it's their time now, and you talk to people who follow them, and they really think like they match up very well against this Hornets team.
Yeah, absolutely. Storylines abound in this game, Dino. You mentioned, obviously, with Kirtland, 55 wins in a row, second longest in the history of the state of Ohio. Ironically, they passed Versailles' 54-game streak from the 90s just last week when they beat Ottawa Glandorf. Now, this is a Versailles team that only a few years ago only won just 2 games, and now Ryan Jones is here and really helping to restore the glory of past Tiger football greatness. And so far, so good. 13-1, their only loss to Marion Local earlier this year, who, of course, won the D7 championship.
Yes, did.
Just earlier today. And this is a very deep roster. You're going to hear Taryn Tayo's name a lot. Left tackle, also on the defensive line, committed to Ball State.
Yeah. Also,
you're going to hear the name McEldowney a lot.
A lot.
And that's because there's 3 of them on this Versailles Tiger roster. Brothers Eli and Chase McEldowney. Eli, leading receiver. He's a cornerback who's got 2 interceptions in this game. Also, he's their punter and punt returner. He's got a touchdown on that side of the ball. So, yeah, a Swiss Army knife, as we like to say. His brother Chase is the kicker for this team, and their cousin Noah is also a skilled receiver. Now, you match that up with Kirtland. These 2 teams are very similar. They love to run the football and play a fundamentally sound brand of this game. You're going to hear Gage Sullivan's name a lot for the Kirtland
both sides,
Hornets.
offense
on
and
both
defense.
Sides. Ramon Lascano, same thing. Both sides, a quarterback and in the defensive back.
And also, Ramon will return punts and kicks on occasion.
Yes, another Swiss Army knife for the Hornets. And then, of course, it is Mason Russ, the leading rusher, single season, more than 1,900 yards. He's only about 41 away, I believe, from 2,000 on the season. Yeah, right on point. I mean, and they'll need him to have a big night if they're to repeat as state champions once again. You look at kind of a tale of the tape. Let's start with Kirtland offense versus Versailles defense. Kirtland averaging just under 41 points per game. They run for 301 yards per game out of 394 yards of total offense. The Tigers
allow 9 points per game defensively, and opponents have rushed for just 60 yards on average per game. So it's that irresistible force and that immovable object. And, I feel like, Mitch Hewitt could have broken down this game for us, talking about the Chardon game yesterday and what Tiger LaVerde squad will have to do tonight. It's that winning that line of scrimmage battle, especially when you're talking about two teams that run the football well. That's really where it's going to start.
Yeah, what do they say? Something's got to give, right? And that's what's going to happen tonight. Think about Kirtland, though. I mean, we talk about Mason Russ and his yardage, and Gage Sullivan is their leading receiver, 881 yards this year. That's a school record. Shows you how little Kirtland likes to throw the ball. They only threw one pass last week in their state semifinal win. But Ramon Lascano is a guy who can throw the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, 1,100 yards, 1,175 yards, 20 touchdowns this year. Granted, 17 of them are to Gage Sullivan. You're kind of starting to sense a theme of where this passing game goes.
Yeah, and I think that's been an emphasis the last couple of years for Tiger LaVerde. It's, I don't want to deviate from what we do. Everybody, like Chardon, if you heard us call the Hilltoppers game yesterday, Kirtland runs their version of a wing tee. And so they want to run the football and they want to be effective. But they realized at some point, in order to win on this field and be a state champion, you have to at least have the threat of the ability to throw the football. Tommy Powers a couple of years ago certainly did that. Liam Powers a couple of years ago certainly did that. And, now it's Lascano's turn. And, we saw Kirtland up close in that Perry game. And when they've needed to, Lascano has been able to make big plays with his arm, thanks in large part to Gage Sullivan, but he has spread the ball around to some of his other offensive players. Whether it's been Phil LaVerde, whether it's been Tommy Gogolin, whether it's been Mason Russ as a receiver, or they'll use Pierce Boyd as a receiver, Chef Boyd. We'll get to that later. Ashley Collins from Bally Sports was telling us a story a little bit earlier. We'll talk about Pierce in a little bit, but Lascano has targets if he needs to throw.
Absolutely. I mean, Gage Sullivan can also run the ball.
Yes,
he had over 150 yards last week when they didn't need to throw it at all, and they still won by 3 touchdowns. And you talk about Versailles, they're very similar. This is a team that likes to run the football, but they can pass it when they need to. The quarterback, Carson Bay, has 13 touchdowns this year, but both he and the top running back, Jack Osborne, have over 1,000 yards, have 17 touchdowns each. They're both averaging over 7 yards a carry. So it really is strange. You've already talked about how, Kirtland is what Versailles used to be, but these two teams in the here and now, they're essentially the same team in the way they operate and in the way they like to play offense and defense as well. Again, it's amazing. We've talked to some Versailles people, and not that they're being biased, but it really does seem like they think this Tiger team could give the Hornets a run for their money. There's
a confidence that I think is coming from the program, and I think they really feel like it's their time, and that they put together a 14-1 season. The only blemish, you mentioned it, to Marion Local, and you know what? They're state champions. They just won a title this morning, and Marion Local, Kirtland's had
no shame in losing to them.
Yeah, Kirtland's had a few battles with them over the years. Here in Canton or in Stark County in state championship games. I mean, we saw them in 2018 beat Marion Local to win the championship in Division VI. So, I mean, there's no shame. They play in a tough conference. I mean, you talk to people around here and to talk about Coldwater, Marion Local, Cary, who won a state championship in the middle game
today. Does
that
mean I win too?
Yeah, that's right. You should get a ring. You should get a ring.
Look, I've told that joke about 3 times already. I know it's getting old.
You deserve it. But these teams that are coming here that maybe Northeast Ohio football fans aren't that familiar with, but they're battle tested. So that's why I think there's a confidence that if we can get through the morass of teams, so to speak, that make up that part of the state, we feel like we can beat anybody. But Kirtland on the flip side, there's a process, and that process has worked beautifully for 55 straight games. TC, just on the flip side, just again by the numbers, Versailles offensively averaging 34 points per game, running for 243 yards per contest, and as you mentioned, both Bay and Osborne over 1,000 yards.
That's pretty good.
Kirtland's defense averaging 6.8 points allowed per game, 175 yards of total offense, and if you get the third downs against the Hornets, good luck. Opponents are only converting 24% of third down conversions this year against Kirtland.
Well, and that's something that Kirtland's obviously going to have to do, is to keep playing that fundamentally sound football. Let's compare them to maybe some other teams we see on Sundays that maybe aren't as good at getting off the field on third down, and that's what burns them. That is when your defense has to come up big, is getting those stops, getting off the field, getting the ball back to your offense, where you're not only going to score points, but where you're also going to burn the clock a little bit, especially with this type of running game.
This could be, I mean, folks, we're going to kick off at about 7:37 because of our friends in the TV business here that are doing the game. I mean, we could be out of here by 9 o'clock with these two teams and how they run the football. It's going to be interesting. And just one other thing to note.
You just jinxed it. You know that, by
I know
the way.
I did. That's okay. Listen, if it's the result that I think everybody in Northeast Ohio wants, we'll stay all night if we have to.
Yes.
Kirtland has a turnover margin, by the way, of plus 15. Versailles plus 11. They don't make mistakes. They force mistakes, both sides. And if that's been a theme of this weekend, and certainly the two games we had yesterday with Chardon and St. Edward, turnovers, special teams. Always just kind of play themselves into big factors once we get to a state championship game, doesn't it?
Well, we saw it in the St. Edward Springfield game last night. Chardon as well with the short punt that set up the Hilltoppers' last touchdown. But, I mean, Springfield last night, the wayward snap on the punt that led to a safety and later a touchdown, 2 missed field goals deep in St. Edward territory. It's those little things, and Kirtland does those little things better than arguably any team pound for pound in the entire state. And if they can continue that tonight, I think you're going to see them winning their 56th game in a row.
Both teams have made their way on the field. We'll have the national anthem in a second. Kirtland won the toss and elected to defer, so we'll see the Tigers on the field first to start the game. Carson Bay will be their quarterback. Landon Henry will start at running back, but we'll see a lot of Jack Osborne early and often. Titus Garrett is the fullback. Eli McEldowney and Noah McEldowney, your starting wide receivers. Trey Mills at tight end. Taryn Tayo, we mentioned the Ball State commit, 300-pounder at left tackle. Jacob Treon at left guard. Caleb Rush at center. Braden Keel is the right guard. Ryan Napke is the right tackle. Tayo is a 300-pounder at left tackle. Ryan Napke, 205-pounder at the right tackle.
It amazes you. You see the kind of discrepancy here on the line. I love Taryn Tayo, 6'4", 300 at left tackle, and then Jacob Treon, 5'11", 185. Look, you see this in some of these smaller schools.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, the colors are being presented. Let's pause here and give you the national anthem, and we'll get ready to go here from Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. National anthem courtesy of the Versailles Marching Band here at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. He's welcoming you back inside. Kirtland's defense will go on a 3-4 tonight. Scott Hamer and David Patel are the defensive ends. Danny Alfieri is the nose tackle. Ramon Lascano will go two ways, oftentimes as that extra defensive backer linebacker, and Joseph Coleman is the other outside backer. Phil LaVerde and Mason Russ are the inside linebackers. Rocco Alfieri will see plenty of time tonight as well at the linebacker spot. Gage Sullivan and Tommy Gogolin are the corners. Will Sale and Gino Blasini are the safeties.
A lot of two-way players on Kirtland, and again, sometimes you get that with some of these smaller schools, and sometimes that hurts these teams. For Kirtland, it almost seems like a strength because these players are so well-rounded and they're so good at every single facet of the game that it just makes them even better than they already are.
Yeah, it's a stark difference from, St. Edward. Tom talking last night in Division I, Tom Lombardo was saying, we really don't have any, two-way players or hardly any. But, now in Division V, you do. But I think the Hornets thrive on that. They emphasize conditioning and physical training so much, especially during this marvelous stretch of championship football that they've played, that they're ready to go both ways and play Ironman football.
And when you're in a town like Kirtland where you wouldn't necessarily expect a team from a city like that to be this good at football, you kind of have to just be so good at conditioning and, I said, the fundamentals earlier. And that, to me, I think is why they're able to beat even these bigger schools like Solon last year. We saw them in one of our games of the week, and they pretty much took it to them. It really wasn't that close of a game, and it's why I think we talk about being battle-tested. Versailles battle-tested in the conference that they play in. Kirtland is too, just because they are willing to play up to that competition.
Absolutely.
They're not afraid of anybody.
They've played Division IV Perry, Division II Riverside, Division I Solon over the last 2 or 3 years. They have not ducked anybody when they've needed to fill in non-conference games. I mean, Tiger LaVerde's sent his team anywhere. They've gone out of state when they've had to, and they've met all comers. They have won 55 straight games, looking for their 4th state championship in a row and their 7th overall. The Hornets won state championships in 2011, 13, 15, 18, 19, and again last year in 2020. As Eli McEldowney and Jack Osborne will go back deep to receive for the Tigers.
We'll also say it is appropriate that this is the very last game of the entire
tournament,
Ohio high school football season. These two great teams, two evenly matched teams, so many storylines, so many great players. As we said, something's got to give, and I'm going to be anxious to see what it is.
All right, Kirtland will kick off. Anthony Spiegel will kick it off. As Spiegel approaches the football, and we are underway in the Division V state championship game. It's returnable. Osborne's got it at the 13, right side to the 20, to the 30, out to the 35, and put down at the 37-yard line. But a good return for the Tigers, and they'll have it 1st and 10 at their own 36-yard line. I think it was Gage Sullivan on special teams
that was a big
coming down to make that hit.
I was just going to say, he wants this game tonight. He's not going to conserve any energy. And yet, pretty nice return there. Decent field position, but a big hit there by Gage. And maybe that sets the tone for Kirtland.
So from the 37, it'll be a shotgun for Carson Bay. And he's ready to go with 4 wide receivers. I believe that's Osborne next to him in the pistol, although again we'll see Landon Henry back there tonight as well. They'll fake to Osborne. Bay will keep it across the 40 and out to about the 42-yard line. Joseph Coleman makes the tackle from his outside linebacker spot. Pretty good gain of 5 on 1st down for the Tigers.
It's a good fake right there, and like you said, they're going to be going to him a lot tonight. When you average 7 yards a carry, of course you're going to. So I guess you could say Kirtland kind of limited him a little bit if he only got 5.
Yeah, 7's the magic number. Bay's averaging 7 yards a carry. Osborne 7.7. Henry 7 yards a carry. 2nd and 5 for the Tigers at their own 42. Bay, high snap, pulls down, runs to his right. He's got room to the 45, gets a 1st down, and has run out of bounds at the 49-yard line of the Tigers, just near midfield.
Good blocking there and good speed by Bay to just hit the corner and pick up the 1st down. So a nice little start for the Tigers here, and that's pretty much 2 plays in. That's pretty much as good as you can ask for against Kirtland.
Gage Sullivan ran him out of bounds, but as TC said, a couple of nice runs by quarterback Carson Bay. And Tigers near midfield at their own 48, 11-10 to play here in the opening quarter of this Division V state championship game. Bay gets the snap, gives to Osborne, and Osborne will plunge ahead for maybe a half yard, and that's really about it. Not a lot of room for him to operate, and Kirtland read that well. It'll be second down and long.
Blake Henry on the hit there, and that's, I think, what this defense needed. Like, all right, let's relax. Just get a little boost there, and got to keep it going, obviously, but so far, if they can keep that up all night.
Yeah, so much of it is keeping containment by the ends, and that's going to put, again, guys like Hamer and Patel on notice, keeping your containment and reading the keys and watching the eyes of the quarterback and the ball. Easier said than done. Titus Garrett now in the backfield next to Bay on 2nd and 9. Bay will run to the right, follows Garrett, gets into Hornet territory, and will get pulled down at about the Kirtland 46-yard line to bring up a 3rd down, and we'll call it about 5.
Not afraid to take punishment right there. And now this is where you said Kirtland is so successful, just 24% allowed on 3rd downs. And this is, I know it's early, but this is a pretty pivotal spot in this game, I think.
Agreed. We'll see teams so antsy to go for it here if we get to a 4th down. Bay trying to draw the Hornets offside with an extra hard cadence there. 4 wide receivers for the Tigers. It's a 3rd and 5 at the Kirtland 46. Ball at the right hash. Bay backs up. He's got 5 on the play clock. And he gets the snap. He looks to throw, fires it to the right. Pass is caught, and it is Eli McEldowney with the catch, and he'll get a 1st down out to the 30-yard line. Ramon Lascano and Tommy Gogolin make the tackle, but a good pickup of 16 yards on 3rd down, and the chains move for Versailles.
You mentioned that both these quarterbacks like to throw the ball when they can, when they need to. Bay did right there, found his open man, and a little bit surprised. A couple of not egregious, but a couple of missed tackles there by Kirtland.
You don't see that very often. Able to, again, that was Eli McEldowney to get a few extra yards there.
Try not to get them confused tonight.
I know. I'm sure I will. Osborne, they'll fake to him on the jet sweep. Bay will keep it and plunges ahead to the 26-yard line, still on his feet, and they'll mark him down at the 25. It's a gain of 5, though, for quarterback Carson Bay. 2nd down and 5 coming up.
We're a few plays in, Dino, and we're not used to watching them like we are Kirtland. Versailles came to play. Yeah. I think we can tell tonight that they are, and Kirtland knows what's coming.
Yeah.
They're used to it themselves. They run essentially the same offense to a degree, so they know what's coming. It's just a matter of can you stop it.
And it's interesting, they're running a lot to the right with Keel and Napke, not necessarily to Tarantayo's side.
It's a big advantage.
Yeah. 2nd and 5, jet sweep to the left at the 21 to the 20, and skidding out of bounds is Jack Osborne, and he should have enough for another Versailles 1st down.
They ran left that time, and it worked like a charm, and in the red zone already. I can't remember the last time. We've mentioned this, too. They're only 20 yards away. Don't know what's going to happen yet. Kirtland has not trailed in any game in over 2 years.
Yeah. Since what, the regional round of the early regional round in 2019?
Against Sandy Valley, I think.
Yeah.
It's been a while. So, again, don't know what's going to happen yet, but Versailles potentially on the precipice of history here.
Noah McEldowney will be flanked out wide right. Now Eli McEldowney goes in motion. A give is to Osborne, and he'll plunge ahead for a yard or so. Really well strung out by the Hornets. Danny Alfieri makes the tackle.
And it looks like running middle so far. That's where Kirtland is having their success getting those stops. It's the outside.
That's the problem.
Yeah. They just can't get a handle on them.
They'll actually give Osborne 2 on that pickup, 2nd down and 8. 7:28 to go. Now this drive is starting to chew up some clock here in this opening quarter. No score here in Canton in this Division V state championship game. Now the Tigers will go to the I formation. Garrett the fullback, Osborne the tailback. 2nd down and 8. Here comes Osborne, and he'll go to the 16, maybe the 15-yard line, and get about 3 more on that, and it'll be another 3rd down coming up here for Versailles. So far they've not had an issue there. Executed a 3rd down earlier in this drive.
I will note it's 3rd down here. Chase McEldowney the kicker. His long is 29 yards. So right now, still just outside that range, but it won't matter if they can pick up this third here.
Garrett will move to a wing right, and it'll be a pistol look now on 3rd and 5 at the 15 for Versailles. Bay rolling right. It's an RPO, chased by Coleman, gets away from him, gets away again to the 5, and takes it in for a touchdown. Joseph Coleman had an opportunity to get Carson Bay running to the right, couldn't grab onto him, and Bay was able to turn the corner and score on a 15-yard touchdown to put the Tigers ahead 6-0.
He just flat out ran by him, and I got to tell you, Dino, that's probably the first time in a long time I can remember seeing Kirtland just thoroughly dominated on any drive, let alone the opening drive, and like we said, there it is. For the first time in 2 years, they are losing.
10-play, 63-yard drive, took 5:29 off the clock, and as TC mentioned, it's Chase McEldowney for the extra point. Not a good snap, and the hold was off, and the kick was partially blocked.
That was doomed from the start.
Yeah.
You kind of knew right away that it was going to be messy. They tried their best, but...
Yeah, I think the snap skidded a little bit.
Yeah.
The holder is Bay, and he tried to put it down for McEldowney.
I don't know if he even got it up in time.
I don't either. So the extra point is no good. McEldowney is now 66 of 71 on his PATs, and it will be a 6-0 Versailles lead. And now, with about half of the first quarter elapsed, 6:24 to go, now the Hornets got to respond here. I mean, this is Versailles. I think we talked about it earlier. We expected them to play with a lot of energy, with a lot of confidence coming in, and they certainly did that on that drive. Now the Hornets have to take a deep breath and go back to work offensively and see what they can come up with.
Well, the good thing is, even if they haven't trailed in 2 years, this is a program with Tiger LaVerde that is used to playing in these nail-biter type of games. We saw it 3 years ago in that classic against Mogador. I don't think I'll ever forget that one, even though we just think, oh, they just blow people out. Well, they've had some games where, yeah, they end up winning by double digits, but maybe it's a little closer than the final score would indicate. The Perry game from earlier this year would be one of those examples. Again, very early, and that's, again, as good a start as you could expect if you're Versailles, but I am confident. I think that Kirtland is going to, they know what to do here. Tiger LaVerde's been here before. He knows how to handle this.
And to your point, there are a couple of players on this team who remember those tight, tough games, even as freshmen. I mean, Gage Sullivan played as a freshman. Mason Russ, I think, got a little time as a freshman, but both those guys, played as sophomores. They understand what it means to have their backs up against the wall, and this is a little bit new, for this particular squad. But you've got players who understand. Okay, no problem. Let's get back to work here, and we'll get our first look at the Kirtland offense coming up.
Tiger LaVerde is such a laid-back coach. I don't think he's going to let these guys panic at all, especially not less than 6 minutes into the game.
Well, and here's the thing, TC. They did a TV timeout after the missed extra point. So, it gave Coach LaVerde a little extra time to talk to his special teams, but also to talk to the offense. Kirtland's offense will look like this. Ramon Lascano at quarterback, Tommy Gogolin and Mason Russ are the running backs. Gage Sullivan, Pierce Boyd are your tight ends, and Phil LaVerde is kind of that slot man, the U-back as they call it. Jonathan Withrow at left tackle, George Prusak at left guard, Mason Vermillion at center, Brendan Bro at right guard, and Joe Picar is the right tackle.
They never get the love that some of the skill position players do, but one of the biggest keys, one of the unsung keys, is that offensive line for Kirtland.
All right. McEldowney will kick it off, and this will be fielded by one of the Kirtland up men at the 20-yard line. It's Gogolin to the 30, had a little bit of a seam. He crossed the 35, and Tommy took it to the 36-yard line. And so much like where Versailles started their drive, Kirtland will start just beyond the 35.
Well, we saw how Versailles' speed really to the outside was able to kind of outgun Kirtland on their first series. Now we see what Kirtland can do. Could that speed be on the Versailles side as well, or can Kirtland just take it to him like they do pretty much every other team in the state?
Ramon Lascano will bring the offense on the field. 6:18 to go in first quarter. 6-0 Versailles on top. Lascano pitch out to the right, and it's Russ to the 40, 45 to the 50. He gets into Versailles territory and down at the 49-yard line. Check that. That's Gage Sullivan who got the pitch out. And Sullivan gets a first down to the Tiger 48.
He's listed as a tight end, Gage Sullivan, in some programs that we see.
It's because he operates he operates in this offense as a wing. I mean, really, as a tight end, it's kind of a misnomer. There's a Kirtland player, and I think it's one of their offensive linemen who's down, just kind of sitting down a little bit and holding his right ankle, it appears. It might be George. No, I see George walking off.
Wasn't 100% sure. It might have been. I thought I might have seen 74.
And we'll check on that in a second, but. Gage Sullivan gets 16 yards on that first down run, and the injured Hornet, and TC is actually, no, that was
64.
64.
That is Tyler Dirksen.
Is there a 64 on the roster?
Oh, I'm looking at Versailles.
Okay, no, that's Brennan Bro. That's a 50. That's a 5. Okay.
My apologies.
All of a sudden, I'm like, I don't see a 64, but the 5 on the uniform almost looked like a 6. Versailles on defense with a 4-4-3 package. Trey Mills and Braden Keel are the defensive ends. Tarantayo, Ryan Napke are the tackles. So, again, two-way players. Carson Bay, Landon Henry, Lucas Stammen, and Caleb Kaiser are the linebackers. Jacob Carmen, Eli McEldowney are the corners, and Michael Osborne at safety. 1st and 10, Hornets. As Brennan Bro gets off the field, another pitch out. And at the 45 to the 40 to the 36-yard line. And again, that's Gage Sullivan with a couple of quick hitters, and suddenly Kirtland at the Tiger 37-yard line. No problem with their running game here on these first two efforts by Sullivan.
Looked like the same play that they ran on the first snap.
Sullivan bounced that one inside. Yeah, he went left side and bounced it in. 2 carries for Gage Sullivan for 27 yards, actually.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he'll take that average. And now the Hornets will go with a triple stack in the backfield. Lascano gives against Sullivan. Big hole. Flag goes down. As Sullivan goes down, it would be a first down to the 25-yard line. I'm guessing, however, this one might be coming back.
Couldn't see who it was, but it looked like it was on the inside, but that guard area.
Yeah, hold against the Hornets. And it's a shame because I think it occurred on the opposite side of where that big hole was. It's kind of looking at the replay. Yeah, the hold occurred over on the right side. And, I mean, Gage Sullivan had a big hole between Jonathan Withrow and George Prusak, left tackle and left guard. But that penalty will mark it back to the 46-yard line of the Tigers. And it will be now 1st and 19 as they'll move 10 yards from the spot.
Yet to see Mason Russ on these first 3 plays.
No. Well, now he's in the backfield behind Lascano, who will go under center. 1st and 19, and Russ will get his first carry of the night.
Pitch again.
Follows a nice block, breaking tackles, and gets back to the original line of scrimmage as he takes it down to the 36-yard line. George Prusak was pulling and just kind of opened a nice little hole, and Russ picks up about 11 on that first down play.
We talked about how on that first series it was Versailles not necessarily imposing their will, as just running past the Kirtland defenders. Right now, Kirtland is imposing their will on the offensive line.
Yes, especially up the middle and going to the outside. They'll go with an offset eye in the backfield. Russ the fullback, Sullivan the tailback. Here comes Gage. Big hole to the 30. Sullivan outside of the 25. Still on his feet and finally out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Michael Osborne, the safety, runs him out of bounds, but another Kirtland first down from the legs of Gage Sullivan.
They make it look so easy, Dino. I mean, most teams 1st and 20, they might panic, oh, we're going to throw the ball now. No, 2 runs to your thoroughbreds, you pick up more than 10 yards on each, and there it is, first down near the red zone.
As though they'll mark it at the 21, Gage Sullivan gets another 16 yards. Gogolin flanks out wide left. I think that's Patel over to the right. Another pitch out, Mason Russ. This time he's hitting the backfield and dropped at the 24-yard line. And I think that was that Carson Bay. I thought so. From his outside linebacker spot, Bay, 5'10", 175 pounds, just scored a touchdown. And now he gets a tackle for loss. They'll mark Russ back to the 24-yard line.
Chuck Bednarik is smiling from up above right now. That is a two-way football player, the way it used to be played.
And look at his numbers. 3 sacks, 3 interceptions, and now 9 tackles for a loss.
Thought we're supposed to protect quarterbacks in this day and age.
Not so much. Offset eye in the backfield with Russ and also Sullivan. Here comes Sullivan on the pitch. Tried to run right, went back left, trying to get to the outside. Bay chases him. Sullivan does get to the outside, and he'll go inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. You know, Gage Sullivan, that play was designed to go to the right. He saw it wasn't there, cut back left, and got some positive yardage. It'll bring up, after that initial loss earlier, a 3rd down and 8 from the Versailles. I'm going to mark this at the 19.
Carson Bay was chasing him again. Jacob Carman also in on the stop there. Now Versailles starting to get into that backfield a little bit. That Sullivan did a good job of making something out of nothing there.
Yeah, now their ends are keeping containment, and there's less running room here for the Hornets. 3rd and 8 for Kirtland at the Versailles 19. Lascano wants to throw. Looking, in trouble. Down he's going to go at the 21-yard line. Trey Mills got a hold of him and just kind of held him up long enough for his teammates to finish the play off. That'll be a sack. It'll set up a 4th down, and we'll see. I think we're going to see Johnny Raguse in to attempt a field goal.
Looked like it was Ryan Kanapke who finished it off right there. A very nice job, I got to say, by Versailles of recovering after it really seemed like Kirtland was running all over him.
Right, you're right. Kanapke did a great job to finish the playoff after Mills started it.
This could be, you don't want to trade touchdowns for field goals in these games, but you want to get points wherever you can.
Ball will be put down at the 28, 38-yard attempt for Raguse. End over end kick has the distance, and it is good. With 2:52 to play in the first quarter, Kirtland on the board. They trail Versailles 6-3. But that was big to come away with that drive with some points after Versailles kind of tightened up and made some adjustments against that sweep in the outside running game.
Well, I thought both offenses really showed their stuff on each of these first 2 drives. You kind of see some differences in the way the offenses are run, but it's kind of the same spirit, just run the ball, ground and pound a little bit. You had mentioned to me on some of our shows earlier in the playoffs that one of Tiger LaVerde's biggest pet peeves in some of these relatively closer wins, and by close I mean by 18 points, they weren't always finishing their drive.
Yes.
And that, even though you're happy to get points and there's still a long way to go, weren't able to finish it off there. Good kick there, but again, you do not want to be trading touchdowns for field goals in a state championship game.
Johnny Raguse now 5 out of 5 on his field goals this year as he cuts the deficit to 6-3 with 2:52 to play here in this opening quarter. And Raguse, little pooch kick in the air. It's fielded at the 33-yard line, and Kirtland immediately down. Gogolin was down with Coleman to make the tackle very, very quickly.
Good coverage right there. I thought that was an onside kick.
It almost had that appearance. I think that might have been Jacob Carman who caught that pop-up there. And they'll start at the 35-yard line, will the Tigers. Yeah, it was Joseph Coleman, and it was Jacob Carman who caught that pop-up.
We saw how the offense for Kirtland answered. Now how can their defense answer after kind of getting schooled on that first series?
Carson Bay out of the pistol with the McElDownies both to the right. Noah and Eli. On first down, the give is Osborne to the 36 to the 37-yard line, and Joseph Coleman with some help from Tommy Gogolin will bring him down at that particular point. About a gain of 3, 2nd down and 7 as we closed in on 2 minutes to play in this first quarter, 6-3, Versailles on top.
You mentioned this was going to be fast, and so far that's how these running offenses have made it for us.
Yeah, I think we've had 2 pass attempts in this football game. Actually, Lascano didn't even get his throw off because he was sacked. Bay has thrown 1 pass in this game. 2nd and 7. Ball at the left hash at the Versailles 38-yard line. As Jack Osborne will stand to the left of quarterback Carson Bay, and Bay will keep it to the 40 and gets tripped up as he tried to dive for the first down. And Danny Alfieri grabbed a hold of his shoelaces and made the tackle but they're going to give forward progress to the 45. A little generous, but
yeah, I
Tigers will take
that.
it. Tigers will take it, and they'll get the first down.
Thought they may have given them a little bit of a favorable spot there, but still a good run by Carson Bay. He is putting on a clinic so far. Had the good pass, really running the ball on defense, as we saw.
6 carries for Bay for 43 yards and a touchdown. Kirtland had a late man check in, and I think they might get flagged here. Tiger LaVerde's not going to be happy about that. Already assuming that's on the Hornets, that would be 2 penalties already on them, which is very uncharacteristic. Yeah, legal substitution's the call, so move it up 5 right to the 50-yard line and make it 1st and 5. By the way, in that opening drive, Gage Sullivan, 5 carries for 49 yards.
So far, so good. They're going to have to keep that up, and again, finish when you get in the red zone.
I formation on 1st and 5 now. Bay turns, gives Osborne, and tough sledding. He gets a yard to the 49, and that's really about it. A bunch of Hornets swarm, if you will, pardon the pun, on that tackle. Will Sale amongst those to make the stop. He probably could have called about 4 different members of the Hornet defense there on that tackle.
Got to give him credit, though. I felt like they were even going to get less than that,
yeah,
and they just managed to push through and at least get 1 yard. Now 2nd and medium.
Titus Garrett, on 2nd and 4, will be the fullback. Osborne the tailback. Bay under center with 2 tight ends. Pitch out, Osborne to the right, and very little room again. Good containment by Gage Sullivan and enabled his teammates to come over and finish off the play. Osborne maybe got about a half yard, and that's about it. But Sullivan did not allow Osborne to make the turn, and he was put down at the 48-yard line.
And that time they were ready for the outside run. I saw Blake Henry in on the action there. And now here it is, 3rd down, which so far Kirtland has not been able to stop for Sales on 3rd down.
And Joseph Coleman and Mason Russ finished off that play. 20 seconds to go here in the first quarter, I should say. 6-3. I was looking at a 3 there. And it's a 3rd down and 3. Bay fake handoff, pops one over the middle, incomplete.
Yep.
And there's going to be a penalty coming up on Kirtland for pass interference. Will Sale had a hold of the jersey of Eli McEldowney.
And that was a pretty clear one, too. He was all over it about 5 feet before the ball even got there, 5 or 10 feet. And again, uncharacteristic of Kirtland. You don't expect them. Sometimes they won't even have 3 penalties in a game,
right,
let alone an entire
in a quarter. Yeah. 9 seconds to play here in this first quarter, and that penalty will move it forward to the Hornet 33-yard line. Yeah, and you said that was a pretty easy call to make.
And Tiger LaVerde, he's talking to the officials. I'm not quite sure what his gripe would be. I think everybody in the stadium saw it.
Yeah. Ball at the right hash, 9 seconds to go. Bay will move back to the pistol with 4 wide receivers. So we're seeing all different formations here for the Tigers in this first quarter. Kind of a pro set, pistol. As now it's an empty backfield, man in motion, and here comes a jet sweep. And it's Osborne to the 30, to the 29, to the 28-yard line. Joseph Coleman will finally put him down at that particular point. But a pretty good gain on the final play of the first quarter for Jack Osborne. So 12 minutes in the books here in Canton at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. Your score, Versailles 6 and Kirtland 3. We remind everybody we are powered, we are driven, we are sponsored by our friends at Chick-fil-A, the WKYC Game of the Week, and our championship weekend coverage brought to you by Chick-fil-A, home of the original chicken sandwich. Stop by your neighborhood Chick-fil-A in Cleveland, Akron, and Canton. And folks, I finally have a broadcast partner who prefers the chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A without the pickle.
Well, look, I've just never been a pickle fan to begin with. You're looking at a guy who, when I go to Tavern of Little Italy in my neck of the woods on the east side of Cleveland, they'll give you those extra pickles, and I have gotten to the point where I have to tell them, please don't give me the pickles.
Hold the pickle.
Because they don't put it on anything, but the juice just kind of seeps onto the plate, and it gets on my fries or on my burger.
It's a contaminant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't want to call it poison. It's not poison. I don't need that unnecessary green thing.
Yes.
contaminating my great dinner.
Yes,
so
yes.
no, I am with you. No pickle on the chicken.
Yeah, Team Sans Pickle, but you may be Team Pickle, and Chick-fil-A is your home, again, for the original chicken sandwich. And
we don't judge you if you are Team Pickle.
No, not a bit, but stop by, and thanks to everybody at Chick-fil-A here in our final game here of 2021. They've been with us, 16 weeks, including 3 playoff games, 3 championship games this weekend, and it's been a fun ride. It has been an absolute ball this year. A lot of teams we haven't seen before in doing these games of the week. Independence we went to this year. We saw Parma Senior this year. West Geauga, we hadn't seen them before.
I don't think we had seen Walsh before this year either.
No, we hadn't seen Walsh Jesuit yet. So this was fun. This was a fun year. We had some tremendous playoff games. Thinking about St. Ignatius and Menor, last week's Avon Hoban game, and the 2 state championship games yesterday both went down to the wire, and this one feels like it's headed in that same direction. The Tigers with a 6-3 lead over the Kirtland Hornets, as we'll be looking at a 2nd and 5 coming out of this quarter break.
Well, Kirtland has to find an answer on defense, and Versailles isn't even doing anything that special. They've had a couple of good outside runs, but those 5 or 6 yard runs add
too many
up.
chunks.
Exactly.
2nd and 5. Again, Tigers will go with the pistol from the Kirtland 28. Bay, fake handoff, and able to break an initial tackle and go forward to the 25-yard line. Kirtland had that read beautifully, but Carson Bay, just strong, was able to kind of dive it ahead, and he took it down to the Hornet 24, so it'll be 3rd and 1.
Again, something you're not used to with the missed tackles. It looked like Patel had him right there, and he was just able to kind of squeeze his way out of it. Here's another 3rd down for Kirtland. Yeah, I'm really surprised.
Tigers so far 2 for 2 on 3rd down conversions against a defense that wasn't even allowing 25% of conversions. Bay will try to dive and get the 1st down. I don't think he got it. He spun to the right.
Spot has him short.
Yeah. Kirtland that time denied the middle for Carson Bay on the keeper. He tried to spin right, and the Hornets able to slam him down. That's an excellent effort by Kirtland. I didn't even see. He may have actually tripped over somebody's legs, and the Tigers are going to go for it. I think he tripped over somebody's legs.
Yeah, it looked like it was
Kirtland will take it, though. 4th and 1. I formation for the Tigers as they'll try to convert here. From the Kirtland 19. Fake the pitch. Bay will keep it, and on a 2nd effort, gets ahead inside the 18-yard line and should have the 1st down. And oh, man, TC. Ramon Lascano is just shaking his head because he thought he had him behind the line of scrimmage and just couldn't quite get him down. He only got about a yard or so, but that's what he needed. 1st down.
Certainly frustrated, just slamming his fists on the turf there, and you get the sense that maybe Kirtland is not panicking, but they're a little bit shell-shocked right now.
Frustrated, too. I mean, they're playing. You mentioned on the previous play, Patel played beautifully in containment and still couldn't get Bay down behind the line of scrimmage. Fresh set of downs now from the 14-yard line. Osborne gets trapped in the backfield and brought down back at the 24-yard line.
Patel is pumped up. He was in on that tackle for loss.
Yeah, he and Coleman, and we've called Joseph's number quite a few times early on. That is going to be a loss back to the 24, and it'll be 2nd down and 11.
You get the sense that Kirtland, they need a stop here.
No question.
At worst, hold them to a field goal. If it gets to 13-3.
Yeah, that you still continue your base offense, but you don't want to get in a situation where you got to start throwing. 2nd and 11. Bay back to throw in the shotgun. Kirtland blitzing. Bay with time. Looks back of the end zone. It is caught on a remarkable catch. Touchdown by the Versailles Tigers.
Wow.
I think that was Michael Osborne who went up high to make that touchdown catch.
And I got to tell you, Titus Garrett in the backfield came up with a great block to protect Bay and allow him time to make a great throw to the end zone. And right now, Versailles is rolling, and you can hear the fans beneath us.
What a heck of a catch. No, I thought it was McEldowney. No, I was right. No, it was Michael Osborne. The camera was focused on McEldowney. It was Michael Osborne who made that touchdown catch. And it's now 12-3 Versailles. Extra point for Chase McEldowney. Kick is up. Kick is good. 13-3. Tigers on top by 10 with 9:25 to go in the first half. 65 yards on 10 plays, capped off on a beautiful scoring pass from Carson Bay to Osborne. Wow.
We mentioned how it was fundamentals. That's been the key to Kirtland's success over these years. Well, so far, the penalties, 3 penalties for 30 yards, including a big pass interference that kept that drive going. Right now, it is Versailles who just looks so sound in every facet of this game. And that throw, that I know they're not known for throwing the ball. That was a big-time throw.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Bay was pretty efficient as a passer coming into this game. 101 completions and 179 attempts, just under 1,500 yards, and that's his 14th touchdown pass of the year. He's got 14 touchdown passes, and that touchdown run earlier in this first half, his 18th touchdown run. So, he's accounted for 32 touchdowns here in 2021. All right, McEldowney will kick it off, and the Hornets find themselves down by 10 in a very unfamiliar position. And the kick going to be returnable by one of the up men at the 32-yard line, out to the 35 to the 36-yard line, as that was Gino Blasini who brought it back, and Hornets will start near the 36, which is where they started their previous drive.
Bit of a dangerous catch on the kick, kind of alligator-armed. You got to be careful because just an inch off, you're looking at giving the ball back to Versailles.
9:17 to play here in the first half. Versailles 13 and Kirtland 3. This is only the second possession of this first half for Kirtland. These two teams have both held the ball for a while. Russ will get the carry on first down to the 40. He'll cross the 40 and take it out to the 43-yard line. So give him 7 on first down.
And they go back to that pitch play again that worked so well for them on their first series.
Yeah, I think they, watching films, figured that was going to be their best offense today, was to go to the outside and attack the Tigers that way. And it'll be second down and 7 coming up. Lucas Stammen and Eli McEldowney make the tackle. And this time Lascano on a quick hitter. I think it was DeRuss again, but Versailles up the middle, very strong, and tackle him at the 45-yard line, about a yard short of a first down, so that'll bring up a 3rd and 1. And Tiger LaVerde wants his team to get on the offense, get on the line of scrimmage quickly and not give Versailles a chance to adjust here. 3rd and 1. And Lascano will keep it and lost the football as he was able to cross it. Flag down, I believe, but it's going to be Versailles football. Lascano looked like he had the first down, and as he was stretching out, had it poked away from him, and the Versailles Tigers come away with a turnover. They have it 1st and 10 at the Kirtland 46. Not a flag, this is the beanbag. There were 2 or 3 different beanbags thrown, which is why I thought there might have been a flag down, but no penalty flag. Just a change of possession. And, TC, we just talked about penalties a moment ago. Now a turnover.
Well, as we look at the replay, you're right. He just flat out lost it going up the middle. I couldn't see who got the knockout or the recovery on that, but I got to say, this is stunning so far. You are not used to seeing this from Kirtland.
Now the Tigers will go with an empty backfield and 4 wide receivers, man in motion. They'll fake the jet sweep. Bay will keep it, runs to the outside at the 45, still on his feet as Kirtland thought they had him tripped up. And Bay continues to move as he took it out to the 41-yard line and got a hard-earned 5 yards on first down.
And another missed tackle. I couldn't quite see who it was there, but once again, they're just coming up short by inches on some of these stop attempts.
I mean, they're getting in. They're getting in there to make plays, and it's just, Carson Bay's physicality is really causing problems right now.
He is in a zone at the moment.
2nd and 5, Tigers at the Kirtland 41. Versailles 13, Kirtland 3 here in the second quarter. On the read option, Bay will keep on the fake to Osborne, and he'll have another first down as he'll take it forward to the 36-yard line. Ramon Lascano tackles his quarterback counterpart, but not before Bay picks up a first down.
Hand up. I thought Osborne had that handoff. That was a really good fake.
Very, very good on the read option. And we'll see another. Tigers will continue to kind of vary their offense here, and They're going to go back to a pistol formation. We've seen them with 4 wide receivers in a pro set, in a pistol.
Really doing a good job of just keeping them on their toes, and so far they're throwing them back.
5 wide. Now they 4 wide with a man over on the wing. Fake handoff. Bay looks to throw. Launches one deep to the right side. It's intercepted. Kirtland's got it at the 25. Gage Sullivan to the 30. Flag goes down. Another flag goes down. Sullivan goes down at the 43-yard line. More than likely, there may be a holding or an illegal block after the return. But Gage Sullivan, with his 5th interception of the season, gives a big lift to the Kirtland defense. Let's just check on the flags to make sure here.
It looked like they came in well after Sullivan had that ball. Bay finally got burned trying to thread the needle.
Chop block against Kirtland.
Penalty will put a little bit of a damper on it, but Sullivan did a great job of just jumping that route, coming in and stealing that football. That is just what the Hornets needed.
6:45 to play in the second quarter. Tigers 13, Hornets 3, but that Sullivan interception gives the ball back to Kirtland at their own 20-yard line. Now each team with a turnover here in this first half.
Looked like he was trying to get it to Peyton Plattfoot on that throw.
That's a good name. That's a good football name. Peyton Plattfoot.
I feel like we've run into a lot of good football names this year.
A lot of Roccos, which makes my man Nick Camino very happy, including Rocco Alfieri tonight for the Hornets. Lascano on first down. And we'll give to the first man through. That's Russ for about a gain of 1 to the 21. And then a bunch of orange jerseys converge on the play. Tarantayo amongst those, 2nd and 9.
Interception, not only big in that it gives Kirtland the football back, but gives their defense a little bit of a rest, too.
Yes.
Trading turnovers here and see if Kirtland can at least get another score.
2nd down and 9 from the 21. Lascano wants to throw. Fires one to the right side. It is caught at the 40. Boyd's got it to the 43, to the 44-yard line. And tight end Pierce Boyd with a first down pickup and a gain. Well, they're going to mark this at the 44. And let me a gain of 23.
I'd tell you, he kind of sidearmed it, kind of like Bernie Kosar used to do in his days on the lakefront, but that was a great catch by Boyd. And
good adjustment.
To just go up there and get over the shoulder grab. Nice job. Stay with it and hang on to it, get that first down.
Hornets will go to the offset eye. Russ, the fullback, Sullivan, the tailback. Here's the pitch out to Gage, and he'll run to the 45 and then wrestled down by Tayo at the 46-yard line.
Tayo is fired up. Just look at him with his biceps right there. That's why Ball State wants him.
6'4", 300 pounds.
Is that big?
Man's game, especially in Division 5. Sullivan gets 2 on that pickup. It'll be 2nd down and 8 as we approach 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Hornets trailing 13-3, but they're on the move on a 2nd down and 8 at their own 46. Lascano wants to throw. Again, time. Lofts one for Sullivan to the left side, and it's incomplete at the 30-yard line. Pretty well covered down the field.
And LaVerde's furious. He's on the field. He wants a pass interference flag.
Yeah, he wants Eli McEldowney to be whistled for a pass interference. He's not going to get it.
Well, I have never seen Tiger this fired up. That's a couple of times.
I got to tell you, though, watching the replay, it looked like a pretty solid coverage by McEldowney, I thought.
Looking at it in real time, I thought it was a clean hit. But Tiger, obviously kind of a little frustrated being down by 10, but...
Yeah, you're right, though. He generally doesn't get that heated.
He's trying to fire his team up a little bit.
I think so. 3rd and 8. And Lascano fakes to Russ, keeps it, crosses the 50, takes it down to the 49-yard line, holds onto the football with dear life, although I think Versailles was trying to say it came loose again, but he was down. They'll mark it at the Versailles 49. It will be 4th down and 3. And at this point, the offense will stay on the field.
He just, Ramon Lascano went right over there, and LaVerde just kind of yelled in his ear, like, get back out there, we're running the play.
Phil LaVerde will check in on a wing. Russ is the lone setback. 3 wide receivers right, 4th and 3. Pitch out to Russ. Can he stretch and get the first down? This will depend on the spot. Needed to get to the 46. He's very, very close.
It looks like it's right on the line, Dino. I think he got it, but they might bring out the chains.
Landon Henry made the tackle. But they're going to bring out the chains to measure in a very pivotal mark and spot here with 4:27 to go in the second quarter. Hornets down 10. And this will come down to a measurement. Again, from TC and I are basically set up just around the 50-yard line here in the booth, and we've got a pretty good view of this. They'll stretch it out. I think he's got it, TC. I think. Chains down. No!
Wow!
I mean, it would be
more than an inch.
Yeah, it would be inch or less. First down, Tigers.
Wow!
And you know, not surprisingly, Tiger LaVerde is about 8 yards on the field. Now, we've seen this weekend calls for replay reviews. And I have a feeling that's probably what Tiger LaVerde just told the official. Hey, listen, can this be a reviewable play?
Picking the football up. We got this might be
just a TV timeout here.
LaVerde wants an explanation.
Yeah, they're not going to review it. It's going to be first down Versailles.
That is
wow. And I don't know what the criteria is for replay, if it's just on scores, on touchdowns, or change of possession. But I mean, that's something that I would think you would like to look at again to make sure that the spot placement was proper.
Totally agree, and we know sometimes with those spot plays it can be so tough to get a good angle and get that indisputable video evidence that we so often say we need. But I will say, seeing it in real time, it looked like he might have been short. Then on the spot, you and I both saw it. It looked like it was right on there. So, and again, just with the measurement.
I mean, from where you're sitting, you're almost eye level to the 46-yard line.
It couldn't have been more than an inch that he missed it by. And now Versailles gets 4.5 minutes to milk away some clock potentially. And maybe make this a 3-score game.
Well, keep in mind, Kirtland will start the second half with the ball because they deferred. But I think this is a critical juncture, and that was why not getting the first down is so costly for the Hornets. And now you got to get a stop again. Gage Sullivan got a pick a little bit earlier in the second quarter. Now you're going to ask the defense to hold this Tiger offense down and keep it a 10-point deficit.
A 3-and-out would be huge here. But
no question.
So far, Versailles has not shown they're going to let that happen.
As Bay looks over to Ryan Jones and his coaching staff to get the play call here. 1st and 10 for Versailles at their own 46. They lead by 10 with 4:27 to go in the first half. Bay, quarterback draw, and he'll plunge ahead to the 49, and then breaks tackles again, crosses the 50, and takes it to the 49 of the Hornets before Ramon Lascano can finally bring him down. He's just strength on strength, and Carson Bay continues to win that battle. They're actually going to mark it at the 48.
See, wherever you think Carson Bay is going to go down at this point, just add 3, 4, 5 yards to it. It's amazing the grit this kid has, as if he will not be denied. It really seems like Versailles as a team is playing that way.
It's kind of they're feeding off of him, and he's feeding off of that energy. 6 yards on first down. It'll be 2nd and 4 now for the Tigers. Again, clock a factor, 3:40 to go in the second quarter. Both teams have all timeouts remaining. Here comes Bay again, and Kirtland will trap him in the backfield. He'll fall forward back to the line of scrimmage. Joseph Coleman with some help from David Patel.
Again, I thought they were going to get him in the backfield, and he just falls forward. It's a no gain, but pretty impressive given the circumstances.
Actually, give him a yard. They're going to spot it at the 47. You're right. I mean, they had him down at the 50. And he's only 5. It's not like we're talking about a 6'2 or 6'3 quarterback. He's only 5'10.
Big third down here.
3rd down and 3 for the Tigers with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Versailles 13, Kirtland 3. Play clock at 6. 4 wide receivers. Bay rolling right, looking, throwing. It is caught. First down at the 38-yard line. That's Eli McEldowney with the catch. As Will Sale was over on coverage and another first down.
And he was barely within 5 yards of him, maybe even more. They just can't catch up with these skill players right now.
3 out of 4 now on 3rd downs as soon as they update the live stats. Versailles here this evening.
So 75% when Kirtland giving up 24% for the year.
Big reason right now why the Tigers are ahead. They've got it at the Hornet 37. 5 wide, Osborne in motion. They'll give to him on the jet sweep at the 35 to the 34-yard line, and Ramon Lascano makes a pretty good tackle at the 33. It's a gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Osborne hasn't been the problem tonight. It's been Bay. 13 carries, 66 yards, and a touchdown.
The clock keeps running, and you get the sense that Versailles, if they had it their way, Kirtland is not going to touch this ball again in the first half.
2:25 and counting. It'll be 2nd and 6 at the Kirtland 33. And I agree with you. It's also paramount for Kirtland to keep the Tigers from stretching out this lead. 4 wide receivers for Versailles. Quarterback draw, and Bay will cut to the right at the 30, inside the 30, down to the 27 to the 26. And another first down, courtesy of the legs of Carson Bay.
He found space on the outside and ran in between about 3 or 4 white shirts and was still able to get a few more extra yards on that burst. Again, we mentioned it's the speed. I just feel like he's outgunning every Hornet defender at this point.
And when the Hornets have him, he's able to, with balance and strength, continue to move the play. Shotgun for Bay. Here comes Osborne. They'll fake to Osborne, and Bay will keep it. They fake the jet sweep, and Osborne will take it inside the 25. I'm sorry, Bay will take it inside of the 25 to the 23-yard line. And he gets 3 on that pickup. Phil LaVerde made the tackle for the Hornets.
Both teams have all 3 timeouts. Neither one using it yet as we're down under 1:20.
Yeah. Right now the clock is the ally for both teams here, really. 2nd and 7. Bay rolling out, throwing to the right. It is caught on a beautiful catch on the sideline. That time it was Noah McEldowney at the 11-yard line. Gogolin and Sale on the coverage, but a more perfect throw by Bay and a beautiful job by Noah McEldowney to keep 1 foot in bounds.
That was a great sideline toss by Bay as the pressure came down on him. I got to say, he is taking advantage of this somewhat soft coverage, at least from our vantage point, from this Hornet defense. 1st
and goal at the 10 for Versailles. They already lead 13-3, although the scoreboard now has it 19-3. Not yet, guys. And Bay will fake to Osborne, keep it on 1st down, and fall forward to the 9-yard line. As Kirtland did a good job stringing that particular play out, it'll be 2nd and goal. Jonathan Withrow on the tackle. And a timeout taken by the Tigers. That's their first. 2 remaining with 59 seconds to go here in the first half. It'll be 2nd and goal at the 9.
It's hard to...
Scoreboard still says 19-3, by the way.
And I'm sure Tiger LaVerde is...
less than
talks
thrilled.
To the officials. Is trying to clarify that. Wow, this is...
It reminds me last week a little bit of Mike Elder with Avon. And, I mean, Mike must have had about 10 powwows with the officials during the course of that game against Hoban, just where you get into that little meeting and, okay, let's talk, and what's going on. It's so much of it's frustration. The game isn't going the way you want it to go, and you have a call. There was a pass interference against the Hornets, and the coach thought it should have been one called against the Tigers. So you're just frustrated right now, and I think that's indicative as they finally do get the score back to where it should be, 13-3 Versailles, with 59 seconds to go in the half.
Well, and that's the thing. We mentioned this earlier. Yes, part of it is you disagree with some of what the officials are doing, but you're also trying to keep your team engaged, stay fired up. Not that they're not going to be like that anyway, but the fact that they see their coach fuming on the sidelines, showing that he cares, is certainly going to make an impact. But right now, I'm struggling to find out what Kirtland is going to do to stop this this Versailles attack.
Now, I mean, you're thinking here, we just got to keep them out of the end zone. And, if they get a field goal, fine. It would still be a 2-possession deficit to start the second half. But
you mentioned that
13-3 or 16-3 feels a lot different than 20-3. And they also just instructed the clock operator to go to from 59 to 55 seconds.
sure Kirtland won't, and either team will probably mind
No.
that. Mentioned that Bay's kind of just been speeding by him a little bit. It looks like Kirtland a few times might be a little over anxious, trying to beat some of these blocks. You got to find an answer.
2nd and goal from the 9-yard line out of the timeout. And now Versailles goes to their version of a wing T. 2 wings on each side. And now a bunch of shifting, and they go to an I formation with a wing right. From the 9, Bay fakes a pitch, keeps it, goes head for about a yard, and that's really about it. LaVerde was there for the stop. Alfieri was there for the stop. And they converge. Scott Hamer also helped to finish off the play. No gain, 3rd and goal. Clock still moves, under 40 seconds to play, first half.
And finally they get him in a 3rd and long situation. And as you can see, Versailles really just content to let this clock run as much as possible. And I think Kirtland is too.
Kirtland's like, fine, go ahead. And I think, now timeout will be taken by Ryan Jones. 1 timeout remaining for Versailles.
They're in Chase McEldowney's field goal range. We mentioned his long is 29, so they're well within that now if they choose to settle for it.
So basically you took as much time as you could off and said, okay, 3rd down, we don't get it here. We can take our last timeout if they choose to run and bring in McEldowney for a field goal, or if let's say you get the ball down to the 1-yard line and you want to go for it on 4th and goal, you'll have a timeout and an opportunity to set up a play.
I do wonder if it is 4th and short if the Tigers do go for it, because a 3-possession game could potentially, still a lot of football left, but that could potentially be a death knell.
That's huge.
It would be a tough mountain to climb for the Hornets.
I wouldn't, no matter what happens here, Kirtland won't deviate from their base offense, even if they're down 20-3 to start the 3rd quarter.
You can't yet. You cannot just abandon your
bread and butter.
Plan.
You can't do it.
Even down 17-3 that early, or 20-3 that early, you've got to stick with what got you here. But if they get a stop here, they can lessen the blow a little bit.
3rd and goal from the 9. In motion is Garrett. Bay gets the shotgun snap, being pressured, rolling, back at the 15. Coleman comes in and grabs a hold of him, and they sack him down to the 21-yard line. Timeout taken with 11 seconds to go. Joseph Coleman and Danny Alfieri combine on the sack at the 20-yard line.
That is just what they needed. They finally got the pressure they wanted. They finally caught up to Bay as he's trying to scramble around back there, and now we'll see what they do. They might have to go for it on 4th and goal from the 20.
Yeah, this would be about a 37-yard field goal attempt. And as you mentioned earlier, McEldowney's longest this year is 29. There's not a ton of wind here in Canton tonight, but I'm with you. I almost think they may elect to just go for it here. The clock is down, by the way, before Coach Jones called the timeout with 2 seconds to go. I actually thought I heard the whistle sound with 11 seconds, but they let it run down to 2 seconds. So it's either going to be a field goal attempt or Versailles will go and try and get a touchdown before halftime.
That was the perfect play dialed up by Kirtland's defense. They're just exactly what they needed.
Joseph Coleman and Danny Alfieri come up with a huge play on the defensive side. And Joseph Coleman's had a big first half with tackles, and he's amongst those that have been frustrated thinking that they had Carson Bay down, and finally he was able to get him enough where Alfieri came over to finish off the play.
And you could tell they were fired up after finally getting them down. You wonder if maybe that could lead to more. It's like, all right, we finally got that monkey off our back.
If you get the stop here, and it looks like the Tigers are going to indeed go for it here and not elect to kick a field goal, it'd be a huge momentum shift for Kirtland. Timeout, Tiger LaVerde. Now that he saw what the Tigers were going to do, Coach LaVerde said, okay, defense, come on over. It was going to be basically 4 wide receivers with Titus Garrett kind of as a wing, as an extra blocker.
And now it's a game of chess, Dino.
Really, more or less, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's interesting. If the ball's maybe 5 yards, in front, and maybe we're talking about a 32-yard kick.
Yeah, maybe they go for it.
Maybe they go for it.
Go for the field goal.
Yeah, go for the field goal. Yeah, I agree with you. I think, you know what? Let's with Carson Bay and how well he's played tonight, Bay in the first half, 4 out of 5 for 63 yards passing and a touchdown. He's also been picked once by Gage Sullivan. Bay as a runner, 18 carries for 66 yards and a touchdown.
Should say that was the great effort by the Kirtland defense, obviously, but that was the one thing you couldn't have happen if you were Carson Bay. You got to get rid of that football.
Yes, and they're fortunate they still had a timeout left.
Bearing down on them, at some point just chuck it away.
Right.
But not only do you get sacked, but get knocked out of field goal range.
Yeah, it's funny all weekend long though. They have really called intentional grounding in these games.
Maybe you got spooked by it.
Yeah. All right, so Versailles from the 20, 4th and goal with 2 seconds to go before halftime. Here's Bay looking to throw, firing right side. It is incomplete at the 2-yard line, trying to get it to Noah McEldowney, and the Hornet defense comes up with a huge stand to end the first half.
Big stop by Kirtland, and as you can see him running off the field, they look a little bit fired off. Still probably not happy with where they are right now, but that's just a little bit of momentum heading into the second half.
Yeah, it's exactly what they needed to give them momentum. I think you said it beautifully before, on the play before. That sack by Coleman and Alfieri could absolutely be a tipping point in this game later on if we're in a tight game down the stretch. But we will head to halftime in a 13-3 Versailles lead over Kirtland at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. We believe we're going to have both bands performing here tonight, so that means you get to enjoy both bands on the field. TC and I will step away for a few minutes and catch our collective breaths, and we'll check the halftime numbers and get you ready for the second half coming up. And our news director, who's the world's biggest Kirtland fan, John Adkins, is here, and we said, John, come on up, come on up at halftime and give us some analysis. So we may bring John in for halftime for a conversation as well.
Resident Kirtland correspondent.
Yes, indeed.
Well. Always feeding us the scores when he's at those games, and we appreciate it.
No question. When we're not with the Hornets, it's nice to have that. Is he here now? He is here now. We were just talking about you behind your back. While the band's on, let's get the crowd mic here, and you're here, we're here. News director at 3 News, and guy who gives us everything we need to know about the Kirtland Hornets, John Adkins. And this is unfamiliar, John, for all of us here. 13-3, Hornets down 10 at the break.
Absolutely. We've gone, I think the streak was almost 1,400 minutes without trailing. So it's one of those things they're not used to, but definitely can come back from.
What did you've seen this team all year long. I mean, your son played for the Hornets and Tiger LaVerde. It's watching them play. It's not like Versailles has fooled them, but they've just been able to make plays, extend plays, stretch plays, which is very different than what we're used to.
No, absolutely. You look at these teams, both very evenly matched. You don't get to week 16 and you're a bad football team.
Yeah.
So anyone who's here definitely has earned it. You look at the season, it's so hard to compare these teams. You look around, especially Division V, across the state. You have Versailles in an area where they're playing a lot more of the D6, D7, but some of the top D6, D7 teams in the entire state. And then you got Kirtland, who's playing up this year with a schedule that included a lot of D3, D4s. Going through, and you really can't compare that. You don't know what you're going to get until you're on the field. You look at the two teams, and they're clearly both evenly matched. Hornets need to make some adjustments at the half here to be able to come back.
John, I got to ask you, we've talked all week about Kirtland. They're so great at the little things, the fundamentals, the finishing drives. Well, so far they've had the fumble, the failed 4th down attempt, and they had the field goal. They didn't get the touchdown in their opening series. That's very uncharacteristic. Is that something you think they'll be able to kind of clean up in the second half?
I do. I think they need to make that big play. They're still looking. They had the interception. They were able to get it back, not really able to execute off of that. I think those are the things, obviously, you need to do. Fortunate for them, get that ball back first in the second half, try and make some halftime adjustments. And that first drive is going to be really critical.
Yes.
I think even the fans, you're sitting on the sidelines, everyone's sort of looking at each other, what do we do? What do we do? How do we adjust? They're not used to being behind as well as the players. So see where they come out. That first drive, though, is really going to be critical.
What do you think of Tiger kind of going after the officials a little bit? That's something we're also not used to seeing. He's normally very even-keeled on the side.
Well, if Tiger has an opinion, he's going to let you know. now, and he's definitely trying to. He's definitely out there trying to support his team and able to go through and speak up for him.
John, last thing, and then we'll get the Kirtland band here and let everybody enjoy them. You're in that community. It's a special Kirtland community where the football team and the program is tied into together. What is this to have watched this evolve, not just over the last 4 years, but really going back to 2011? What's it been like to see this evolve into not just a good team, but an elite program?
No, I think we talked earlier in the week. I've missed 2 games in 20 years watching this team play. So I watched a lot of really bad Kirtland Hornet football. A lot of years where they weren't in the playoffs.
Hard to believe that was ever a thing.
Yeah, right.
And I think it's a testament to the program that they've really built. It starts at the youth level going through. Everyone that wants to play, all of them want to be involved. All the kids want to be involved as we go through. They're able to build that out. And, I mean, success builds upon itself.
Yeah.
You look at these teams that are here, week 16. Other teams have been done. There's 6 additional weeks of football. Look at the seniors that are here tonight on this team. They basically played 2 additional seasons of high school football over someone who wasn't in the playoffs.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
That's a lot of extra practices. It's a lot of working together. And there's no mistake that a lot of the same teams that come back, they're here for a reason. They get that common thread that, hey, next up. And that's something that Kirtland's always done, and they've always pushed for here.
Well, thank you, my friend, for stopping by and giving us your halftime insights here. I don't know of a bigger Hornet fan out there than John Atkins, our news director at 3 News. And
I will point out one thing. I'm not sure if everyone has noticed, though. Adam Hess, former Hornet himself, state champion coming through, paralyzed a couple years back. He's actually on the sidelines tonight. You may see him there in his wheelchair. Has been going through a lot, but that's another person the community's definitely rallied behind to be there. He had an unfortunate accident in a swimming pool a couple years back, and everyone's been there to support him. You'll see outside of the Hornets Stadium, they've got his number, they've got his helmet. It still shows just the kind of support that this community has.
And it's one of the main reasons. Talking to Mitch Hewitt at Chardon last night after they won their state championship, it's so much parents, family, community, and it's all one unit.
Absolutely. Well, let's get the band there.
All right, let's get the Kirtland band. John Atkins, our news director, stopping by. TC and I are back with you in a few minutes. 13-3 at the half. Kirtland trailing Versailles. Enjoy halftime, everyone.
In 2015, by arguably the most influential and popular boy band in history, called One Direction. This song was an international hit that dominated many different song leaderboards. So without further ado, please welcome the song, Drag Me Down! song we have for you, released in 1978 by the band Queen. This song was the 12th song that had been called Jazz. With this being the last song of our senior show and our last song of the season, please give a big warm welcome to our final song, Don't Stop Me Now! Can we have one more big round of applause for your 2021 Kirtland Hornet Marching Band? Ladies and gentlemen, to continue your halftime entertainment, please welcome the Versailles High School Marching Band. The band is under the direction of Mrs. Rhonda Stammen, along with Assistant Director Mr. Michael Falk, Percussion Instructor Mr. Matthew Dawson, and Color Guard Instructor Mrs. DJ McLeod. They are led onto the field by Senior Field Commander Noah Brown and Junior Field Commander Abby Coons. The Color Guard leader is Junior Kira Cheadle. The Versailles High School Marching Band show tonight is one that will feature something for audience members of all ages. Country music and hip-hop, two decidedly different styles that one may not think go together. However, in recent years, many performers have been merging the two genres together and producing very successful hits along the way. This evening, the band will present to you their rendition of the Lil Nas X and Billy Ray Cyrus hit, Old Town Road. been countless bands and performers who have left their mark and cemented their place in the history of rock and roll, but none more identifiable nor more influential than that of the four lads from Liverpool who conquered America in 1964. With a catalog so immense, any number of songs could be counted as some of the greatest of all time. The band will now feature two of the Beatles' most beloved ballads, Let It Be and Hey Jude. Tiger fans, let's cheer on the orange and black as the band exits the field with the VHS fight song, Go Tigers! You would wait and watch from far away, but you always knew that you'd be the one that worked one day.
As we welcome everybody back inside Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, Dave DiNatale, Tyler Carey with you as we have reached halftime, a few moments away for the second half as there we go, TC, as the Kirtland Hornets down by a score of 13-3. TC, I'm going to send a tweet here if you can give me a hand with that. TC, let's, as we get a moment here, let's take a look at the first half numbers here.
Yeah, why don't we go over some of the first half numbers so far. Let's start with Kirtland. We mentioned how they're kind of able to run the ball with ease on those first couple of drives. Versailles kind of got to him later on, but Gage Sullivan, 6 carries, 51 yards. Pretty good start for him. Mason Russ, just 21 yards on 6 carries for himself. Ramon Lascano, 3 carries for 6 yards. No one has been able to find the end zone so far. Lascano also 1 of 2 passing for 23 yards. And we mentioned Lascano did have that fumble on that quarterback
Indeed, that was
sneak.
a big, yeah.
It was a really big play right there. And then luckily they were able to get it back because of the Sullivan interception. That's one of the defensive plays for them. Joseph Coleman, 11 tackles. Ramon Lascano, 9 tackles. Mason Russ, 5 tackles. Gage Sullivan, 4 tackles. And also Coleman came up with half a sack on that big stop toward the end of the first half that really kept Versailles out of the end zone. Let's go to Versailles with the stats. Carson Bay, who's just put on a clinic tonight. 18 carries, 77 yards, including a touchdown. He's also 4 of 6 passing for 63 yards and a score. Has been sacked once, as we mentioned, also through an interception. Receiving Eli McEldowney, 2 catches for 26 yards. Michael Osborne, who we're not really used to. We were talking to some of the Versailles guys.
Yeah, that was surprised everybody that he was the one who made that big catch.
1 catch, 24 yards, a big play. It was a touchdown. And then Noah McEldowney, 1 catch for 13 yards. Jack Osborne rushing the ball, 10 carries, 25 yards. He's kind of been quiet tonight. Really hasn't been the problem.
Yeah. It's been a heavy dose of Carson Bay, TC. I mean, they've given him, as you said, 18 carries in the first half. And so many times where I think the Hornets thought, oh, we've got him. We've got him behind the line of scrimmage. We've read the play right. And he still finds a way with power, speed, and balance to break tackles.
Absolutely. He's just, and again, sometimes I think Kirtland can maybe be a little bit over anxious on those plays, but at the end of the day, he's making a miss. He's really doing a good job. Some of the big numbers, Dino, as we look at him here, 13-3, obviously. Versailles, 12 first downs, Kirtland 4. Rushing yards, Versailles 90, Kirtland 73. Passing, 63-23. So overall, 153 yards for Versailles, just 96 for Kirtland. That's something they're not used to.
That time of possession, 17:01 to 6:59 in favor of the Tigers. Let's see if the Hornets can flip the script. Down 10 as we begin quarter number 3. Kickoff, and the Hornets will have it out at the 30 to the 35 to the 39-yard line is Ramon Lascano, and he's put down just shy of the 40. And the Hornets, with Lascano at the controls, will begin just shy of their own 40, trailing 13-3. And Tyler, it's so important before halftime that Kirtland not only didn't allow a field goal, but didn't allow any points when it was 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. And I just have a feeling we may be talking about that sack on 3rd down by Joseph Coleman and Danny Alfieri.
We mentioned how that could be a momentum shift, and you're even starting to hear some of the Kirtland fans really getting fired up.
Yeah, there's more of a buzz from the, again, pardon the pun, but more of a buzz from the far side as on 1st down Lascano gives to Mason Russ. Russ will cross the 40 to the 41-yard line. 2 tough yards for Mason. It will be 2nd down. Carter Luthman from his defensive tackle spot makes the hit.
We mentioned how Russ needs only 41 yards to crack 2,000. He really hasn't been much of a factor tonight.
They'll go on a little end around to the right, and Gage Sullivan with, acting like Bay when it looked like he was going to be brought down at the 41. He was able to dive ahead to the 45 and get positive yardage. It will bring up, though, a 3rd down and 4.
Big 3rd down here for Kirtland. 0 of 3 on 3rd down so far tonight. Versailles 3 of 5, which is another big stat that we've been talking about during the first half. Kirtland, of course, only allowing a quarter of 3rd down conversions, less than a quarter all year.
All right, Hornets break the huddle, 3rd down and 4 from their 45. Lascano looking left, throws left, incomplete for Gage Sullivan. And I'll tell you, Sullivan wasn't able to make the catch, and then for a second, Phil LaVerde thought he might get a deflection in a catch, but it will be a 3-and-out, though, for the Hornets to start the second half, and Gage Sullivan will be punting away.
You mentioned how that was a big momentum shift with the sack and the stop at the end of the first half. That is not the way you want to start for Kirtland. It's 3-and-out when you're already struggling to move the ball.
I think that was Eli McEldowney who deflected that pass away from Gage Sullivan. Sullivan will wait for the snap for the punt back at his own 34-yard line. McEldowney and Osborne in double safeties. It'll be McEldowney chasing it inside the 10, inside the 5 to the 1, and it'll go into the end zone for a touchback. Boy, I'll tell you, Gino Blasini came very close to getting that ball down at the 1. Good punt by Sullivan, but not good enough. It'll start 1st and 10 for Versailles at their own 20-yard line. 10:44 to play here in the third quarter. 13-3 Versailles on top of Kirtland in this Division V state championship game. Kirtland with a boatload of streaks and stats on the line in this game. 3-time defending state champions, including 2 in a row in 2019 and 2020 here in Division V. They've got a 55-game winning streak, longest currently in the nation, second longest in the history of Ohio. But Versailles, thus far, been up to the challenge. They lead by 10.
Back to Carson Bay here.
And Bay will give on 1st down. It's Osborne breaking a tackle to the 30 and out to the 31-yard line. Gino Blasini and Phil LaVerde make the tackle, but that's Jack Osborne's best run of the evening. And they actually marked him down shy of the 30, TC, at the 29-yard line.
Yeah, not sure
It'll be
if I
2nd
agree.
and 1.
Not sure if I agree with that spot. They've had a few questionable spots tonight, and I think Ryan Jones might be a little bit surprised by that too.
Yeah, I think he's talking to the side judge to his right, saying, really? But it'll be 2nd and 1, I formation for the Tigers from the left hash. Give Osborne, hemmed in, breaking a tackle, then gets pushed back at just shy of the 30-yard line. He's not going to get that 1st down, at least not from up here.
Looked like they were going to mark him. No, they're moving it.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
They were going to mark him short, and then the official kind of on the far side of us just barely moved up a little bit, kind of readjusted himself. I mean, I guess maybe it's a make good.
Here's my. I mean, folks, I'm literally sitting right at the 30-yard line. There's no way Osborne got to that point. There's no way. But the officials disagree.
We talk about make good calls. Perhaps we saw one right there.
I guess.
Again, questionable.
All right, it's irrelevant now. 1st and 10 at the 30. Bay will send Osborne in motion. They will fake to him on the. No, they'll give to him on a jet sweep. Excuse me. I was fooled momentarily. Will Sale was not fooled, and Will comes up from his safety spot to make the tackle on a 2-yard gain. 2nd down and 8, and it's been the Jack Osborne show here thus far on this drive for Versailles.
Yeah, I got to say, I assume they just go back to Carson Bay with the job he did in the first half, but maybe this is their way of trying to get Osborne involved. He was kind of quiet in those first 24 minutes, but he is a big weapon for this offense. Remember, they have 2,000-yard rushers, and he's one of them.
Osborne 36 yards on 13 carries so far, 2nd and 8. Now it's a pistol look here for Versailles as Bay barks out the signals. 5 seconds on the play clock. Fakes to Osborne, looks to throw, pressured, and it's caught by McEldowney. 1st down, and when I say McEldowney, it's Eli on the catch, not Noah, and it's a 1st down to the 43-yard line. And Carson Bay has been razor sharp with the exception of the one pick on he forced one to Sullivan. Other than that, he's been terrific throwing the football tonight, and it's a 1st down
which
to
was
the 43.
Really, and that was kind of a forced throw, but it was really more of a great play by Sullivan to just kind of go in there and jump the route and make that grab. So won't hold that too much against him, but so far he's done most everything right.
Gain of 11 and a 1st down. Mason Russ made the tackle. As Bay will go with 4 wide receivers on the shotgun, and he'll tuck, he'll run, and Kirtland does a good job bringing him down. Phil LaVerde and David Patel combine on the tackle at the 41-yard line. That is a loss of 2 on the play.
That might be the first time I can remember tonight where they have a loss of yards.
I think, except for the sack by
other than that, yeah,
sack, I think you're right. Yeah, that's like the first tackle for loss we've seen tonight. That's a great job, Patel and LaVerde converge on that tackle for a loss. It's a 2nd down and 12. Noah and Eli McEldowney both flank out wide right. Osborne flank wide left. Rolling right is Bay. Pocket collapses. He gets away momentarily, and then Danny Alfieri puts him down at the 41-yard line. Well, good coverage downfield, and I think it's the first night we've tried to be able to say that tonight, TC. And just not a lot of room for Bay to throw. And David Patel, who just made a tackle on the previous play, is shaken up for Kirtland.
Oh, and he looks really hurt. He is not comfortable right now.
Tiger LaVerde amongst those coming out, along with the Kirtland training staff. It's a stoppage now with 7:15 to play here in the third quarter. It'll be a 3rd down and 12 for the Tigers at their own 41-yard line. Just looking at Tiger LaVerde as we wait on David Patel. His 16th year at Kirtland. If the Hornets come back and win this game tonight, it would be his 200th victory as a Hornet head coach. Career-wise, 219 wins and 27 losses at Kirtland, 199 and 17.
Just over 1 loss a year. I mean, it reminds me a little bit of what Urban Meyer was able to do at Ohio State in his short little tenure. Granted, Tigers got more championships than Urban did. But it really is just amazing how year in and year out, they almost expect to be here. Not that they're taking anything for granted, but it's like, all right, just get through the year. We're probably going to be in the state championship game.
Right.
And here they are again. Now, they're in a bit of a hole, but I've said this ad nauseum. People really need to understand just how special this is.
This doesn't happen every day. And, to win, to have the longest winning streak in the nation active right now, it is something very, very special. The good news, David Patel was able to walk off the field under his own power, and he'll be tended to on the sideline. But a critical, and ended up, they'll use this as their television timeout here in the third quarter with 7:15 to play. 13-3, Versailles leads Kirtland here in this Division V state championship game. But a critical 3rd down coming up. TC, let's see if I can name all of the state champions here this weekend.
Okay.
So you had Division II Thursday night, Winton Woods beating Hoban.
Yes.
And then yesterday, Clinton Massey. That's what, Clinton Massey.
Great game against Ursuline.
Yeah, they beat Ursuline in Division IV. And then you had the other 2 games we had right here on WKYC.com. Congrats to Chardon. Congrats to St. Edward. State champs in both respects in Division III and Division I. And then earlier today, Marion Local. Again, much like Kirtland.
Talking about being expected to be.
What a surprise. Marion Local wins the championship in their division. Cary beat Coldwater in their Division VI game. And this is it. This is the last game of the night, of the weekend, and of 2021 in Ohio high school football. 3rd and 12. 4 wide receivers for the Tigers from their own 41. Bay rolling left. Pressured. Hit as he throws. Looking for Noah McEldowney, who makes the catch at the 25-yard line of the Hornets for a 1st down. Oh, what an adjustment by Noah McEldowney. Well covered by Tommy Gogolin, but he made the catch and a huge 1st down for the Tigers.
And McEldowney now limping off the field. That could be a big blow for Versailles, but a huge, huge catch there. And again, Kirtland just giving him like a 5-yard cushion.
Yeah.
It feels like that's been the theme all night with their passing game.
Kirtland had a late man coming in and putting pressure. It was Scott Hamer came in, but just couldn't affect the throw in time. Ball will be spotted at the Hornet 24. Osborne in motion. They'll fake to him. They'll give to him, actually. Inside the 20 is a flag down. And Osborne will be put down at the 16-yard line. We may have our first Versailles penalty of the evening here. In the area where one would expect holding. And nope, illegal shift. But it is against the Tigers. So move it back to the 29-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 15. And a good sign for Kirtland. Patel is back in there at defensive end. Well, again, the first penalty of the night on the Tigers. And we talked about mistakes and discipline. Both teams really felt like that was a strength coming in, and Versailles able to go more than a half, 2.5 quarters without a penalty. Bay on 1st and 15 keeps, runs to the right, and he'll be put down at the 26-yard line. Good job by Will Sale to go to the outside and make the tackle. Got a little help there at the finish. And it'll be a gain of 3, 2nd down and 12.
And that was a place where they got burned throughout the first half. Those outside runs by Bay, finally they were able to get them on one of those design run plays. Now it's 2nd and long. They got to – these are where they have to come up big, is where just stopping on these 2nd and 3rd and long plays. They really haven't been successful containing the Tigers tonight.
Gage Sullivan also there to help make the tackle. 2nd and 12. Bay rolling left, chased, throws, pass caught. It's McEldowney at the 15, and Noah McEldowney will take it down to the 12-yard line. It will be another Versailles first down, courtesy of a Bay to Noah McEldowney completion.
We limped off the field, and he looked pretty good on that play.
Yeah, he did.
Again, just another bit of a cushion. It seems like this soft coverage is really burning Kirtland tonight.
Bay now 7 of 9. I'm sorry, TC. Bay now 7 of 9 for 123 yards. He'll go under center, and now a full house backfield. And before we can get a playoff, we've got a whistle and a Kirtland timeout. Well, again, much like it was at the end of the second quarter, a pivotal moment here for the Hornets. They're down 10 with Versailles in the red zone, 1st and 10 at the Hornet 12, and Tiger LaVerde wants to talk to his defense.
Well, you couldn't have scripted a worse start to this second half for Kirtland, going 3 and out on your first drive after getting all that momentum after the sack and the 4th down stop. You go 3 and out, then you punt it away, and now here Versailles is just driving downfield, and we're already under 5 minutes here in the third quarter. And you're getting to the point where time is of the essence for Kirtland down 10.
Yeah, I mean, because again, this isn't an offense that moves the ball down the field quickly. That offense takes time, and so your clock will start to become a factor here soon. And again, Versailles on 3rd down conversions tonight, 4 out of 6, including that big one a few moments ago. Bay to McEldowney. This helps set him up here. Again, 3 backs in the backfield. No receivers, double tight end. First time we've seen them use this formation tonight. 1st and 10 from the 12. Give Jack Osborne inside the 11 to the 10. And Kirtland did a good job of stringing that particular play out. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8. So we're under 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Versailles 13, Kirtland 3. TC, you look at Kirtland coming in, they are averaging nearly 41 points per game. Nobody has contained the Hornets this year, and Versailles to this point, amongst other things, they have. Now, back from no receivers to 3 wide receivers and a pistol look. They will go to Osborne, jet sweep to the right, to the 6. And then as he tried to push further, got pushed back. And then a couple of the offensive linemen came up and tried to push the pile ahead a little further. They'll mark him down at the 6, where it will be a 3rd down and 4.
Tell you what, he took a big hit there and just refused to go down. That just slammed right at the 7-yard line and still managed to stay up and kind of keep his footing. Tried to fight for more yardage.
Yeah, it's been a bruising game. So, again, Versailles can get a 1st down without getting a touchdown. They just need to get to the 2 here. They've got it at the Kirtland 6, 3rd down and 4. As Eli McEldowney will shift over to the left with Eli McEldowney, his cousin. On 3rd down, Bay keeps to the right and breaks a tackle again and goes inside the 2, down near the 1-yard line. Tried to clear the pylon. Did not do it. They'll mark it at the 1. It'll be 1st and goal there.
It's been the theme all night, those near-miss tackles.
Yeah, that time Phil LaVerde tried to converge on him, couldn't quite get the angle, and finally Scott Hamer forced him out of bounds. 3:26 to go in the third, TC, and it's a 1st and goal for Versailles at the 1, and they already lead by 10.
And the fans, again, we're on the Versailles side of the field. They're starting to sense it a little bit. Probably don't celebrate just yet, but they're starting to feel like this could be their time.
I formation from the 1. Give Jack Osborne on 2nd effort, dives to the goal line, and he'll punch it in for the touchdown. for Jack Osborne, touchdown number 18. And Versailles stretches their lead out to 19-3 with 3:22 to play in the third quarter.
Well, that was just a physical clinic by the Versailles offense, just bullying Kirtland in every sense you could imagine. And we talk about the momentum shifts, that's the biggest of the night right there. Just,
no doubt.
Like I said, the 3 and out, the long drive, Tigers are firmly in control.
And the other thing, I mean, they were able to execute that long pass to Noah McEldowney to, really, and you said on what felt like it was soft coverage. I think they're going to review to make sure that Osborne's knee didn't touch down prior to him clearing the goal line here. So
I understand why they're looking at it. It did look like a touchdown from here. Doesn't hurt to see another angle on it.
That completion to Noah McEldowney to help set up the touchdown, a 35-yarder. And now you look at the total offense. Kirtland 102 and Versailles 238 yards of total offense. Time of possession 24-23 for Versailles to 8 minutes and 15 seconds for the Hornets.
No punts tonight.
Nope.
For Versailles. Kirtland had the one after the first drive of the second half. Other than that, they've had a fourth down stop and turn the ball over.
And you sit there and you go, average yards per play. Both teams are averaging 5 yards per play, but more opportunities and more results for the Versailles Tigers. Still plenty of time to go, though. You've got about 15 minutes in this game. And extra, assuming this touchdown stands, and we think it will, you get the extra point, it'll make it a 3-possession lead. And Kirtland will really be in a comeback mode from this point on. Whether it's a 2-possession or a 3-possession lead, it really is relevant. Here's Chase McEldowney for the extra point. Okay.
And I dragged that out.
Well, that was for dramatic purposes there, Mr. Referee. Okay, well, hey, listen. Your high school referee getting some TV time, why not? Extra point now for McEldowney. Had one blocked, really from a bad snap and hold earlier in this game. Kirtland would love another one of those right now. Bay is your holder. Snap down, ball down, kick up. Kirtland in there, but McEldowney powers it through. 20-3, Tigers with 3:22 to play in the third quarter.
Now, this late in the game with just 15 minutes overall left, we talked about, okay, if they're down 17 at the start of the second half, you don't abandon your base offense. Now I almost feel like you're at a point where you might have to start throwing the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, because you got to get back to it. You have to. Yeah, I would agree with you. I think you have to have more of a mentality now of striking quickly. You can't have a 5 or 6 minute. You're going to need 3 possessions, and you got to have something more. You can't have a 6-minute or 7-minute drive. You can't afford that with the time being what it is right now.
Well, and we talked about it before the game. Lascano is capable of throwing the ball. He's not Drew Allen.
Yeah,
but he can make the throws when he's needed to, and that does, going back to Versailles, I do wonder if Kirtland was a little bit surprised by that. Bay's only thrown 9 passes. He's completed 7 of them.
Yeah.
He's looked very sharp tonight, 123 yards. I do wonder if they are a little bit surprised at the ease with which he's been able to complete some of these throws.
Yeah. I mean, he's been on target, and, there's been a bit, in some cases, been a little bit of a cushion because you have to respect his running ability. And as a runner and as a thrower, he's been superb tonight. Chase McEldowney's kick fielded at the 25-yard line. Ramon Lascano will take it to the 35 and go out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. So the Hornets will go to work with 3:16 to play in the third quarter, and they need points. And Ramon Lascano went down, and did he get up? He went down on the Kirtland bench. Okay, now he's up, I think.
Can't quite tell at the moment.
There he is. Okay. Yeah, he was slow to get up. He was
looking a little gimpy.
Yeah, he was knocked out of bounds, and it was a good hit. It wasn't a late hit or anything like that, but I think he was just kind of a little stunned there. So
you got to score here if you're Kirtland.
Yeah.
Field goal or touchdown, you need points.
And preferably quickly. I formation in the backfield. Gage Sullivan will get the pitch, swinging to the right at the 40, 45, to the 50 with a nice move and down to the 45 of the Tigers. Ryan Napke makes the tackle. Gage Sullivan with a nice run to immediately get the Hornets into Tiger territory.
That's a good start. Gage Sullivan has really been their offense tonight. Mason Russ kind of quiet. Ramon Lascano kind of quiet. He's been the one just kind of dragging him downfield on some of these series.
Yeah, Sullivan now 8 carries, 73 yards, and he'll get it again at the 45 to the 40 to the 38-yard line. And a gain of 7 on first down for Sullivan. Right now, Tiger LaVerde is riding the hot hand of Gage Sullivan, and he's had a couple of nice runs here to start this drive. And the Hornets break the huddle quickly. They are moving with urgency, down by 17 points. Lascano under center. Russ the lone setback. Russ will get the handoff. He will pitch, and they'll look for a throw. Lascano's wide open and intercepted and then dropped at the last moment. Oh, my goodness.
Almost a disaster.
Pierce Boyd got that pitch and was looking to throw to Lascano, and Lucas Stamen stepped in front at the last second. The ball kind of hung up there. Lascano was open, and Stamen nearly got the pick.
It looked like from the start that play just never really developed the way the Hornets wanted to. You saw what they were trying. The throw just came a little bit late. He was open.
Yes, he was.
He was there waiting for it, but Tigers almost had a field day with that. You live to fight another day. You got to get this third down here.
Triple stack, LaVerde, Russ, Sullivan behind Lascano. Second man through Russ. It'll be Lascano actually keeping it, and Ramon will be brought down short of the first down.
Got to go for it.
Carter Luthman came in, and Tiger LaVerde just saying, go for it. Saying, get on the ball here. They'll mark them down at the 37. It'll be 4th and 2.
I think this is your ball game right here,
I do
Dino.
too. 2 minutes to go in the third. Hornets down 2. 4th and 2 at the Versailles 37. Lascano gives. Mason Russ will get the first down, and there'll be no measurement necessary. They'll mark it at the 32, and it's a gain of 5 for Russ and a first down.
You knew it was only a matter of time before he came up with a big run. Wasn't that long, but might be the biggest run of the game so far for the Hornets.
Mason now with 8 carries and 25 yards. And a fresh set of downs for Kirtland. 1:35 to go here in the third quarter. Hornets trailing by 17 on the move. Russ again gets it on the read option, and he is buried back at the 31-yard line. Give him about a yard or so, and that's really about it. Second down and 9, and I think Stamen came over to make the tackle again. I'm actually pronouncing it Stamen, so apologies there to Lucas. Out of the triple stack, Sullivan will get the carry, and Gage is going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. And this time it's Luthman coming over to make the hit.
They were waiting for it that time. Now another big 3rd and long, and the clock keeps moving.
As we move under 50 seconds to go, and that loss takes it back to the 33, and it'll be 3rd and 11. Braden Keel will also get credited with that tackle. 4 wide receivers for Kirtland. Lascano will go under center, 2 receivers to each side. Looks to throw on a quick drop. Fires left side into no man's land, and it was almost intercepted by Carson Bay. They'll say it's incomplete. It hit the ground.
Versailles fans thought it was picked off.
It was very close.
There's Carson Bay again. There's the replay on it.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
This might get looked at. From that angle, I think he might have had it.
I do too. I think Bay might have gotten that pick right at the 20-yard line.
Fans aren't happy. Right now, they're not
reviewing it. Now, there we go. Yeah, now they're going to get a review. I really wonder, though, and this sounds like sour grapes, and I don't mean it to sound like, but if that's the criteria for review, then why didn't they review the Mason Russ run in the second quarter
that would have been
that was close to a first down?
I would agree.
I guess I don't understand why, is it just scoring plays and potential change of possessions? Because if otherwise, that's either a first down or a 4th down.
I don't quite know, unfortunately, what the criteria is. I don't think a lot of people know what the criteria is, but you're right. That was a huge turning point in the game where Kirtland had a chance to kind of cut back into that lead. And same thing here. If this is a turnover, that could be the final nail in Kirtland's coffin.
Right.
And I understand you want to review it, and I'm not even saying the Russ run would have been overturned. I thought he was short, but
right. We thought, on that run, we thought it was short, but then where they marked the ball, it looked like he had it, and then they said, well, no, he's short.
And then it was the chains,
right,
which kind of caught us off guard.
Right,
and
it's one of those things that's like, okay, well, again, if you're going to utilize review, and it may be something that, we'll find out, again, what the criteria, what is a reviewable play, because they don't use replay reviews at any other time in high school football except in Ohio, except for the state championships.
And look, I understand it. It's very hard to get that type of equipment in every single state across the state.
You have the advantage of having Spectrum and all their cameras here. There's there are about 15 or so booths here at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, so you have the luxury of having a replay crew set up.
And Versailles seems to be reacting as if this is going to be overturned.
I wonder if they may have overheard the referee getting the word in from the replay booth, which is just a couple down from where we are here at the stadium. And I think Kirtland's got their defense on the field, anticipating that's going to be the case here. Let's see what the referee says. Yep. Interception for Carson Bay. And we both think it's the right call.
Yeah.
That's Bay's 4th interception of the season. And
a great grab by him, diving, just kind of pick it off the ground there. And that could, again, we still got a lot of football left, but that is a tough blow for Kirtland when it really looked like they were driving for the first time since the opening drive of this game, Dino.
Yeah.
You may have to look up the record. We know it's been 55 games since Kirtland lost. I can't remember the last time they didn't score a touchdown.
Yeah. It's been a long time. All right, so Bay, after the interception, will operate the controls on the offensive side on first down, back at the 20. He kind of got pinballed around a little bit and then fell forward for about a half yard as Kirtland strung him out over on the left side. And it'll be 2nd down and long coming up. And that may be the final play of the third quarter.
I don't see why you snap it again if you're Versailles.
By the way, I would like to point out that we've gone through 3 quarters and neither one of us has referred to Versailles as Versailles.
I will admit I came close a couple of times. I caught myself before it happened, but
Tyler and I are both history guys, so, you think about the Treaty of Versailles and the Palace of Versailles and things like that.
This isn't World War I, Tyler.
No. Versailles, if you don't know Versailles High School, you will here, unless a miracle happens in the next 12 minutes, because they stand very firmly on a state championship, which would be their 7th in school history. They lead Kirtland 20-3 at the end of 3 quarters.
So far, Dino, their game plan has just been executed to perfection. Other than maybe the interception down deep in the red zone, the kind of wayward series at the end of the first half, Kirtland has had no answer on offense other than really that first drive. And then defensively, it just seems like Bay and up front, Versailles has had their way with them.
Yeah. Versailles has played keep away. I mean, they've had the ball nearly 25 minutes in this game to just over 11 for Kirtland. And they have outgained the Hornets, have the Tigers, 239 yards to 132. Rushing yards, by the way, about even, 116 to 109. But Carson Bay's dual threat abilities as a passer have really come up big tonight. He's 7 of 9 for 123 yards passing. And, amongst other things, a big difference in tonight's game.
He has been an absolute gamer. I mean, we throw that phrase around, just, gamer, whatever. I think of gamer as someone who's just in the biggest spots, under the brightest lights, against the best competition, is going to go out and just make them pay.
Yeah.
Just do everything right. He's been, other than that one throw, and again, maybe not getting rid of it at the end of the first half, he's been near perfect.
Yeah, no question. He's played beautifully. I think Ryan Jones has had a good game plan tonight. And, to this point, I mean, it's not a fluke. 20-3, Versailles on top. And so they'll be looking at a 2nd and 9 at their own 21 to begin the fourth quarter. We remind you, the WKYC Game of the Week, as well as our high school football state championship coverage this weekend, is presented by Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, home of the original chicken sandwich. Stop by your neighborhood Chick-fil-A in Cleveland, Akron, and Canton. And we thank Chick-fil-A for a season-long partnership that's been a lot of fun for us here. We've gone an extra week this year, 16 weeks of high school football, 3 state championship games. It's been a memorable 4th season of the game of the week.
We're not going to use week 16 to rehash the playoff expansion debate, are we?
No. I've been good last couple weeks. I've enjoyed the state championships.
Yes.
I'm gonna be good. 2nd and 9. Bay will run to the right at the 20, ahead to the 25, and dives to the 26-yard line. He'll be put down at that particular point. David Patel made the hit, and he's slow to get up again as he had walked off the field a little gingerly early in this half. Mark it at the 26. It'll be a 3rd down and 4 for Versailles.
And we saw it again, about 4 or 5 Kirtland defenders chasing Bay, and you think, oh, they're going to get him at some point, and he just makes a quick cut, and it just seems like without even doing it, looks effortless. He's just able to get those few extra yards, and when those come back to back to back, they make a difference, and that's why Versailles has really just been in control all night.
And you talked about that earlier, these 5-6-yard chunk runs. They've been effective tonight. 3rd and 4, little quarterback draw coming for Bay, and Kirtland does a good job reading it, and with Scott Hamer making the tackle at about the 27-yard line. Actually, they'll mark it at the 28, about a yard or so shy of a 1st down. And it'll be 4th and 2.
A rare 3rd down stop for Kirtland tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a rare punt here for Eli McEldowney.
I think this might be their first.
I think you're right. So the Hornets will send Gage Sullivan and Tommy Gogolin back in double safeties at their own 40-yard line. Eli McEldowney averaging 31 yards per punt this year with a long of 45. Gets a good snap and gets that kick away. End over end. Gogolin with the catch at his own 39. Crosses the 40 and will be put down at the 42-yard line by about 3 Versailles Tigers.
Good field position here now, and this is, we mentioned Kirtland had to score on their last drive. They didn't, but there's still a little bit of life here if they can get preferably a touchdown here.
By the way, got a nice text message from our friend Carmen Angelo, who's the amongst other things. Carmen does a lot of things, but he works at News Radio WTAM 1100. He's also color commentator on the St. Edward Radio Network. He and Adam Mendoza, part of their coverage last night to celebrate the state championship, sent a nice text. He's been tuning in tonight. And Carmen, good to have you. I promise I'll come on your show this year, buddy. I promise. On 1st down, little swing out pass. Mason Russ has it at the 50. 1st down to the 45 of Versailles and brought down at the 44 by Michael Osborne.
Now, would I make Carmen feel old if I mentioned that I listened to him as a news update anchor about 20 years ago when I was 7 years old on WTA? Would that make him feel a little bit old?
Probably. And then he'll chuckle and say, yeah, I'm old.
And I thought he was very good at what he's still very good at what he does.
He's the best, man. Pitch out comes on the left side at the 40. It's Sullivan to the 35, and Gage will be put down at the 34-yard line by Ryan Napke. Got close to 9 on 1st down. 2nd down and 1. 9:45 to go in the game. Kirtland down by 17, 20-3 on the march again.
They know they got to be quick here.
Gogolin will go out wide right. Boyd on a wing right, along with LaVerde. Offset eye in the backfield. The give to the first man through. That's Russ inside the 30. He'll get the 1st down to the 28-yard line. So Kirtland moving it down quickly. Again, Ryan Napke on the tackle. They've got it at the 29 of the Tigers. Going to need a touchdown. And then you'll probably think very seriously of an onside kick. Pitch out on 1st down. Gage Sullivan got a good block from Russ. Out to the 25. Cuts to the 21. Still on his feet. Breaks a tackle. Down the right sideline and in. Touchdown, Gage Sullivan.
I got confused. It looked like he kind of slowed up a little bit. I thought maybe they ruled him out of bounds. Somehow stayed on his feet and just waltzed into the end zone. One of the biggest runs of Gage Sullivan's life.
Keeps the Hornets in the game. 29 yards on that touchdown scamper. Hornets down by 11. And they'll go ahead and kick an extra point here with Raguse with 9:03 to go in the game. Ball is down. Kick up. Raguse connects. Well, flag goes down. He did connect, but kick won't count. And we'll see about the penalty here. It's a false start on Kirtland, so they'll move it back to about the 8-yard line, and so it'll be about a 25-yard extra point attempt here. Lascano is the holder. And again, Raguse will try it here. Bring Kirtland within 10 with 9:03 to go in the game. Good snap, good hold, kick up on its way, and it is good. So despite the penalty, Johnny Raguse connects. Versailles 20, Kirtland 10, 9:03 to go in the game. Kirtland has 2 timeouts remaining. So you got to start thinking percentages here in time. Is it better to do the onside, or do we think our defense can get a quick stop and get the ball back?
I think they're going to end up kicking it away here. I certainly see what you're saying, and I would not be surprised if Tiger LaVerde did try the onside kick here. I do think you have a little bit of time left. I think he wants to trust his defense, because you think to yourself, all right, even though we're down 2 scores, and yes, the percentages, if you're not going to stop a team with 9 minutes left, you're probably not going to win the game anyway. So you may as well just kick it away and just see, all right, our defense is going to have to come up big if we're going to win this game, because you're going to have to get those stops regardless.
Right. So 20-10 is your score. If you're just joining us, if you're just logging in, welcome to Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. I'm Dave DiNatale. That's Tyler Carey. Our final of our 3 Northeast Ohio State Championship football game coverages this weekend. We saw Chardon win a state title yesterday. Last night it was St. Edward. Tonight, Kirtland going for another championship in Division V. They're down by 10. In a game, we saw Versailles take the opening kickoff, went down, got a touchdown. Kirtland came back, got a field goal. It was 6-3. And really at that point you thought, okay, here we go. We're in for a slugfest. And Kirtland just offensively couldn't get into a rhythm, and defensively couldn't get off the field. And thus now they're down by 10 points. And with this TV timeout, pondering, okay, how do we want to approach this last 9:03 with a 2-possession deficit here?
We mentioned it. That stop that set up that touchdown was really their first stop of the game. You had the one on 4th down to end the half, but the first time Versailles had punted all night. And you mentioned on offense, it really seemed like early on they had that rhythm with Sullivan, Russ a little bit. All right, here we go. They're just going to ground and pound, burn the clock, get into the end zone. Then they were held to that field goal. They didn't finish that drive. And then since then, it seemed like Versailles kind of figured them out a little bit. Sullivan had his runs, and Russ nearly picked up that 4th down in the second quarter. But it just seemed like Versailles made the adjustments, and Kirtland was not able to adjust back. Now, that drive they just had was the best they've looked since that first series.
No
Maybe
question.
even the best they've looked all night. It's not a coincidence in my mind that Gage Sullivan wears number 20. That touchdown run looked Barry Sanders-esque.
Yeah.
I thought he was down about 4 times.
Hornets on that scoring drive went 58 yards in 4 plays, took only a minute 22 off the clock. That's absolutely what you have to do. And despite the fact they're not a traditional throwing team, they were able to have success. Raguse will kick off to McEldowney and Osborne. It's going to be McEldowney from the 11. Runs to the 25, cuts in at the 30, makes a move at the 35, and brought down at the 39-yard line. Eli McEldowney will give his team good field position. And as he was hit, a Kirtland player down, holding his leg, and a couple of his teammates motioning for the trainers to get in there quickly. As a matter of fact, the Versailles training staff will also come out there. Very, very scary moment here with 8:55 to go. A Kirtland player, we didn't see the number, down on the field and being tended to by the training staffs of both teams.
And he is not quick to get up here. This might take a little bit, but you hate to see this this late in any game, but especially a state championship game.
And it has suddenly got silent here at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium with 8:55 to go. Everybody on the Kirtland side down to a knee. And Versailles players aren't on a knee, but you can tell they're all kind of gathering around here and very concerned about the Kirtland Hornet who's down in the field. And again, unfortunately, we can't tell you who it is because we can't make out who it is. There are so many training people around to tend to this. It was just basically on a kickoff return by Eli McEldowney, but you could tell when the player went down, and the player is now being at a seated position, which is a good sign. There was immediate concern from his teammates to help him off the field and come out and tend to him. So the player is now on his feet, but going to need some help to get off the field. And TC.
Looks like Bobby Whitaker.
Yep, that's exactly who that is.
Junior tight end and linebacker being helped gingerly off the field. And we know it's part of the game. The injuries happen, but you never like seeing things like this. And now the Kirtland fans giving him a well-deserved round of applause.
Whitaker will head to the Kirtland sideline and we'll resume action here. They will mark the ball at the Versailles 38 with 8:55 to go. Tigers 20, Hornets 10 in this Division V state championship game. I formation in the backfield. No receivers. They'll go double tight end with a wing. And the give on first down, Jack Osborne. He'll go nowhere. Kirtland in there quickly with Mason Russ to make the tackle. No gain on the play. Second down and 10.
You sense a little bit of life. If they can get off the field quickly and then get another quick score, this is a whole new ball game.
Yeah. Then you can really make things uncomfortable.
Remember, it's a touchdown and a field goal to tie it, so you don't necessarily need to get into the end zone. If you get the stop here, presuming.
4 wide receivers now. Second down and 10. Bay to throw. Pass deflected at the line of scrimmage and incomplete. As Kirtland got in there quickly.
Jonathan Withrow, I believe, got his paw.
That's exactly who it was.
Just knocked it to the ground.
Big fella, 6 foot, 215 pounds. As TC said, got his paw up there and knocked it away, stopping the clock, which is as big as anything else. And with 8:12 to go, it's a critical 3rd and 10 for Versailles at their own 38. Tigers tonight, 5 out of 8 on third downs. Kirtland 0 for 6.
Listen to the Kirtland fans.
They understand this is a big moment in this game. 3rd and 10. Bay looking right, pressured, rolling right at the 35, throws out of bounds, incomplete. Was looking down over on the right side. His intended receiver was Jacob Carmen, pretty well covered by Tommy Gogolin, and exactly what the Hornets needed, a 3 and out with 50 seconds, I think, elapsed in that stretch.
That was probably the best their defense has looked all night, just chasing Bay, giving him no time to throw. He eventually just has to chuck it away.
Gogolin and Sullivan, double safeties at their own 33, waiting for this punt from Eli McEldowney. Low snap. McEldowney picks it up and kicks it away. Sullivan will make the catch from his own 27. It's a fair catch. And the Hornets will begin there with 7:58 to go in the game. They're down 10, but still with some life here at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium.
And with this much time left, I don't think you need to just air it out.
I don't.
Definitely don't need Lascano to try to be Dan Marino here. You got to be urgent. You can't just ground the clock out like you usually do.
I liked the pass they threw to Russ. Just a little swing pass. Yep. I think you can do that.
First time we've really seen that all night, and it worked to perfection.
Yeah. And earlier in the game, Lascano's other completion, he had Pierce Boyd on a seam route, his tight end. So Hornets will go to work.
Both crowds getting into it now.
Mason Russ will shift to a wing left. Gage Sullivan, the deep man in the backfield, and I think Kirtland's going to get called for a delay of game. Yep. Sixth penalty of the game for the Hornets.
Again, it doesn't seem like a lot, especially, look, as Browns fans, we're used to seeing them get like 13, 14.
Yes.
But for Kirtland, that might as well be like 20, relatively
Mm-hmm.
speaking. And you know it's something Tiger LaVerde drives him nuts.
Gage Sullivan pitch out right now. He wants to throw. Looks deep down the middle. It's going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 41-yard line of Versailles.
Never had a chance.
I think that was Chase McEldowney. We talk about the McEldowneys. I'm pretty sure that was Chase McEldowney playing deep in coverage who got that interception.
Look at the replay. It was either him or it might have been Michael Osborne.
Well, if that was Osborne, that's another big play of the night. Let's double check on that.
We're looking for the numbers.
Yeah, it was Os. Good catch.
Yep.
Good catch, TC. That was Michael Osborne who had a touchdown catch and may have just slammed the door on the Hornets with an interception.
He was just sitting there waiting for it as if the pass was intended for him. I'm not kind of a questionable play call by Tiger LaVerde. Not sure why you try to outsmart everybody with a trick play and they pay for it.
Gino Blasini was the intended receiver. Now Bay will keep it on first down. Crosses the 45 and out to the 46 of the Tigers. And now Versailles can really start to work the clock.
And you just feel like the air kind of went out of the Kirtland sideline.
Oh, there's no question. There's no question. You know, that drive started with the delay of game penalty, and it was obvious they were, I'm sure they probably still was going to be the play call. Pitch to Gage Sullivan and have him throw, and threw it, as you said, really no chance into double coverage where Michael Osborne playing as a center fielder comes up and makes the pick.
3 turnovers tonight for Kirtland. That you can't win when you're going to do that.
As they will go on a fake jet sweep, Bay will keep it, and he'll be brought down at the 46-yard line by Jonathan Withrow, and I think we're going to have a timeout taken by the Hornets with 7 minutes exactly to play. They'll have 1 timeout remaining, and it will be 3rd down and 4 coming up.
When you get a stop here, you still have some life, but, I mean, that might be, and they've had a lot of rough blows tonight that you feel like it's been a gut punch. That might be the worst of all. And again, I'm just a little bit perplexed as to why, after you kind of had that last drive where you moved the ball with ease,
with the run
or with the swing pass, nothing too flashy, and then you come out of the delay of game penalty with a halfback pass.
With a gadget.
Again, I'm not going to question Tiger LaVerde. The guy's earned his credibility, but a little bit puzzling right there.
And from their own, they were starting out at their own 20. It's just actually with the penalty, I mean, it all kinds of just kind of shake your head a little bit on that call. But the Hornets, if they can get a stop here, the door would still be open with 7 minutes to go for them, trailing by 10.
Sales 5 of 9 on 3rd down tonight.
Again, I look at, that's amazing in itself. And then Kirtland 0 for 6 tonight on 3rd downs.
The little things, man. Talked about it all night.
They come up big, don't they? On the biggest stage. 3rd and 4 for the Tigers, trying to maintain possession with a 10-point lead. Bay, pitch out, Osborne, and hemmed in and brought down by Mason Russ at the 45-yard line. That is going to be a loss of 1, 4th and 5. And looking down at Ryan Jones here. The prudent thing to do would normally be to punt the football, and I think he was thinking about it. And, he'll send the punt team in.
I mean,
he was thinking about it.
With the way your defense is played, I think it's the right call. But it finally looks like Kirtland has kind of figured out this attack from Versailles. I'm not sure if it's going to be too little too late, or maybe if Versailles is being a little bit conservative here. Don't blame them, up 2 scores, but they're going to get another chance.
4th and 5. Kirtland trying to come in here and get some pressure as the punt. We'll have Gogolin make the catch from the 25, ahead to the 30, cuts inside 35, still on his feet. Ooh, he gets to the outside, to the 39, to the 40, to the 44-yard line, and a good run back by Tommy Gogolin, but there's a flag down, and he had started right, and then when he shifted back left, that's probably when an illegal block or a hold took place.
It came in after the tackle, I thought. He was already so far down on the left side when I finally saw the flag come in.
We're going to have 5 officials Converse personal foul against Kirtland.
And again, I'm not even sure it had any bearing on the final result of the play, but that hurts.
It would have been 1st and 10 around the 44. A blindside block is the call against the Hornets. And the penalty was thrown at the 38, so that means Kirtland will have to start at their own 23.
Boy.
7th penalty coming as a little update. 7 penalties for 70 yards tonight. Yeah, it's just so uncharacteristic.
You still have time. You got to be a little quick here.
Yeah.
Now you may have to throw the ball.
Exactly 6 minutes to go. Pitch out. Sullivan on 1st down. Goes to the 24, breaks a tackle, and down near the 25. A lot of effort for, unfortunately, only about 2 yards. And then you got some late chatter, and let's see if this is going to be an offsetting, unsportsmanlike conduct, or if this is going to go against just one team here. Dead ball. Oh, personal foul against Versailles. Well, it's getting chippy, and now all of a sudden, Kirtland gets the 15 yards back that they lost previously, and you move it up to the 40-yard line and a fresh set of downs.
That's something you can't let happen.
Yeah, and the clock stops with 5:48 to go, so that helps Kirtland immensely. Hornets down 20-10, 5:45 to go in the game.
Braden
3 receivers
Keel.
left side.
Braden Keel got flagged for it.
Lascano, quick drop, throws left side. Gogolin's got it from the 40 to the 44 to the 45 and out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Nice move along the left sideline by Tommy Gogolin, and he gets about 6 on 1st down, 2nd and 4.
Kind of had to go back for the ball. It was thrown a little bit behind him, but he did a nice job of just
that was almost a
fighting
lateral,
that extra.
TC.
Yeah, it looked like it was almost backwards, but did a nice job of recovering and getting. We're going to give him 6 yards on that. The clock stops.
2nd and 4, 5:33 to go here in the game. Hornets need 2 scores. They're trailing by 10 from their own 46. As Lascano, fake handoff, looks to throw, fires left side, and it's going to be incomplete. But I got to tell you, the Kirtland receiver, and I think it was Gogolin, somebody grabbed onto his jersey.
I
no
thought
call.
There was contact too.
Yeah, no call. Third down.
Looked like he had a chance to get it. He was just breaking away for it and lost his footing at the last second. Here's the replay. Might have been ticky-tack if I'm looking at the throw, but
that was a good throw, by the way, by Lascano.
Put it where only he could get it, but again, he just fell down right as he could have had a chance to make the play.
Jacob Carmen was over there on the coverage. 3rd and 4. Clock stops, 5:27 to go. Kirtland from the 46. Lascano pressured. Tries to throw to Russ left side, and it's incomplete at the 50-yard line. Ryan Napke then hit Lascano as he threw the football. Ramon had some pressure in his face. I think he wanted to swing it out to Russ a little bit earlier than that. And now another tipping point moment here for the Hornets with 5:23 to go, down 10, and looking at a 4th and 4 at their own 46.
Like we said, they're now in that point where they kind of have to throw the ball a little bit, and Lascano so far struggling. He's 3 of 8 now in this game, just 44 yards in that pick. We'll see if they throw it here or if they go back to the run game.
Yeah, let's see, maybe no receivers right now. They have 2 wings. 4th down. Here's a pitch to Sullivan. Looks to throw, and it's going to be intercepted again at the 32-yard line. And that may have been Osborne again. No, I think that time it was Jacob Carmen. It was basically a reverse pitch to Gage Sullivan. And Versailles comes away with yet another turnover. And you can kind of feel now with 5:14 to go, they can start celebrating.
Another pass from Sullivan. Again, I don't want to belabor the point, but I don't understand the play call there. That's twice it's been picked off, and I believe the first one, it was almost intercepted again.
Yeah, 4 turnovers tonight. Lascano's been picked once, Sullivan's been picked twice, and you've had a fumble as well. And before we have a play call here, timeout Versailles. Trying to plot out here with this 10-point lead what they want to do. And keep in mind, Kirtland can only stop the clock one more time. And it was Jacob Carmen on that pick. Osborne and Carmen have done a terrific job playing those deep routes tonight and not allowing Kirtland players to get open.
We mentioned how the fundamental things, it just seems like everything possible has gone wrong for Kirtland tonight. The 7 penalties for the 70 yards, the 4 turnovers, 5 of 10 allowing third downs, which is not terrible, but very bad compared to what they're used to, and then 0 of 7 on offense on third downs. It's just, it's somewhat shocking to see because we're so used to Kirtland just rolling in like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, playing letter-perfect football. I go back when we did the Perry game and, talking to their people and their coaching staff beforehand saying, look, you can play a letter-perfect game against Kirtland and you still are going to have a tough time winning. As on first down, they'll pitch to Osborne at the 30. Kirtland trying to get him out of bounds, but he'll stay in bounds as they'll put him down at the 32-yard line. Gain of 2, second down and 8, but the clock is much more of a concern right now for Versailles as we go under 5 minutes to go. And tonight, Versailles has taken everything that Kirtland does well and used it against them.
And what really is a shame is their defense is finally starting to find its footing, and it's the offense that just can't get out of its own way.
Yeah.
I mean, hats off to Versailles. They have played an amazing game tonight. I'm sure we'll talk more about that, but there have been a lot of moments where Kirtland has just shot themselves in the foot.
Empty backfield, second down and 8. Now Osborne will go in motion. He'll get the jet sweep, running left, and good tackle down to the 34-yard line by Gage Sullivan. Only a gain of 2, and it'll be third down and 6. Clock at 4:20 to play, fourth quarter. Versailles 20, Kirtland 10. As the Hornets' 55-game winning streak and 3 consecutive state championship run is in some jeopardy right now. Third down and 6, and we will cross under 4 minutes. And again, Kirtland only has 1 timeout remaining. As Bay will shift to the shotgun with Osborne standing to his right. 3 wide receivers. On 3rd and 6, Bay's going to roll right. He's going to throw. It is caught. Noah McEldowney with the catch out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
First down.
And that should be a first down from right where they're spotting it, right at the 40, and that's a first down, and that's a backbreaker. With 3:43 to go, new set of downs now for Versailles. And they were willing to take the risk of stopping the clock to get that first down. Gogolin had good coverage, but again, another razor-sharp pass by Carson Bay.
Been a story all night in the passing game.
As Bay will go under center with an I formation on first down and 10. As Titus Garrett is the fullback, Jack Osborne the tailback. And I think they gave it to Garrett for the first time tonight. And Garrett moves piles ahead to the 44-yard line. That's only his 20th carry of the season. And they'll mark it at the 44-yard line. It'll be second down and 6 as we approach 3:20 to go in the football game.
I've really been impressed, too, with the way that Versailles has just really asserted itself inside.
Yeah.
With the defensive line, but really the offensive line tonight. That's something Kirtland is really not used to, is being out-physical. And I feel like Versailles has done that all night long, really since the first snap of the game.
Clock moving, and Versailles breaks the huddle with 10 seconds on the play clock. We've got 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. I formation on second down and 6 from the Versailles 44. Osborne, the deep man, will get the handoff. He'll go to the 46. A couple of his friends will push him up to the 40, close to the 47-yard line. 2:48 to go. Another third down coming up, and Tiger LaVerde only with 1 timeout remaining. They'll actually spot it at the 46. It'll be 3rd and 4. Now, if Kirtland gets a stop here, I would think that Tiger would use that final timeout.
And at that point, you just got to get downfield as quick as possible. Hope for a miracle.
Yeah. As Kirtland's running out of opportunities here, trailing by 10. 2:20 and counting to go here in the fourth quarter. I formation on 3rd down and 4. Carson Bay turns, gives Jack Osborne fumbles the football, and a couple of those beanbags come out, but one of the offensive linemen No, actually, Osborne himself made that recovery.
Pounced right back on it, and that's why you saw some of the Kirtland players were so frustrated.
I got to tell you, Brennan Bro was right on top of that play and just couldn't get that fumble recovery. But it's 4th down now, and that's a loss back to the 43, and the Hornets will use their final timeout with 2:08 to go.
I was going to say earlier, Kirtland, really their biggest hope would have been a turnover. They almost got it there, and it was really just bad luck that he happened to fall right on that football.
So Kirtland now out of timeouts. It'll be 4th down and 7. You know, if you're Ryan Jones, I'm sure, again, there's a temptation. Geez, okay, we got a 2-possession lead. Why don't we go for it here on 4th down and get it, and then basically we can run out the clock.
4th and 7. Had it been 4th and 2, they might think about that, especially after a fumble. I think he's going to
you play the percentages, and you know if this is a regular season game, maybe. In the state championship game, you play the percentages, and the percentages tell you, let's let Eli McEldowney punt this football away. And
it doesn't help that your defense has forced 4 takeaways tonight.
Right. Gogolin in single safety at his own 29-yard line, waiting for this punt by Eli McEldowney. And now a flag goes down. Is there one too many men on the field?
Yep. I count 12 players on the Kirtland side. Before he even said it, I counted 12.
And now, that decision you just talked about a second ago, it's going to be 4th and 2. Now, it looks like the punt team is still – I tell you, the players are going over to the coaching staff on the Versailles sideline saying, come on, coach, let's just go for it.
I think you still punt it away here.
Yeah,
I understand
agree.
the temptation, but just trust your defense like you have all night.
I saw Gogolin, who's in single safety now at his 19, was doing the count. And I think Kirtland just went off sides. And if that's the case, that's the ball game. Kirtland trying to point to Versailles, but, boy, I tell you, it looked from up here. Let's see, dead ball. Nope, it's going to be a false start. Okay.
All right, so we go back.
I was looking. They've got Gage Sullivan right over the football. You know, probably the fastest guy on the team trying to get pressure on the punter, and I thought maybe he might have gone in there a little too quickly, but I'll say he was drawn off. So
you're going to see him rush the punter, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
There he is.
So he looks to get in there, does get in there. Punt is away. They just knocked down McEldowney. That's going to be the ball game.
Yep.
Gogolin at the 25 to the 30 to the 35, run out of bounds, but
a little bit over aggressive there.
This is not going to be running into the punter. This is going to be a roughing the kicker.
He absolutely
guaranteed.
Slammed him right down, and
kind of indicative of the way the night has gone for Kirtland. Officials will converse, but from our vantage point, this is a pretty easy call, quite frankly.
They're calling it against Kirtland. They didn't signal personal foul yet.
Let's see now. I didn't see replay. I mean, you had two guys deck the punter, and it was not running into the punter where you're stumbling in. I mean,
I know there's something like, if it's the plant foot, it's roughing. If it's this,
no,
I
mean, they buried Eli McEldowney. I mean, it really, again, it did not seem like it was a very questionable, borderline decision. Wow, whoa. It's only a running into the kicker call.
Kirtland ball.
So Kirtland will have the ball as that penalty will be declined. And
I'm stunned.
I got to tell you, the Hornets dodged a big one there because, it's just, you had two guys for Kirtland because they're trying to block the punt. And, when you don't get in there, you're frustrated, you put down the punter, but it's only a running into the kicker.
And sometimes it just happens.
Yeah.
But again, they tackled him to the ground.
Yeah.
They essentially, like you said, decked him to the ground. If that's not roughing, why do we even have the penalty
anymore? I don't know it is. Kirtland, 1:57 to go, and we've got a stoppage before Lascano can snap the ball here. Please don't tell me the previous play is under review.
I don't see how is that a reviewable play?
Or do they just Tiger LaVerde's on the field with Ramon Lascano. Okay, the officials want the game clock to be reset. Wait a minute. They want the clock to be set to 157, right?
It was already at 157.
It was already at 157. Okay.
Look, everybody's tired.
Yes.
Right.
It's been a long weekend. I don't know if this crew had to work another game this weekend. It's been a long weekend. I get it. Okay. Ball at the right hash. Kirtland at their own 35. Down 10 with just under 2 minutes to go. Ramon Lascano will roll left. He'll throw deep left side for Gogolin. Makes the catch, but makes it out of bounds at the 40-yard line of Versailles.
Had him open, just overthrew him.
Yep. Carson Bay doing it all tonight was over on coverage, 2nd and 10. Remember, Kirtland out of timeouts here, so, I mean, everything now is...
You pretty much have to throw it at this point.
Yeah, you have to throw, and you have to convert, or it's ball game. 2nd and 10. Wow, the Hornets will have 2 receivers flanked out wide left. Mason Russ in the backfield. And a little pitch pass to Russ. Got a nice block to the 40, 45, to the 50 as he hurdles over a couple of would-be tacklers. And he'll get the first down. And as he went down, a flag came down. And that's not only going to stop the clock to move the chains, but it's going to stop the clock as they sort out a penalty.
It looked like with when it was thrown and the area in which it was thrown, it could be a late hit. I'm not quite sure I saw that there. Oh, he took a shot.
Oh, yeah, he did. I think Landon Henry popped him right in. And they decided to pick up the flag.
They said it would have been a foul on Russ for hurdling, I guess. Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Look, they picked it up. It never happened.
Right. And they should start the clock, and now they do. So Kirtland's got to get moving here now from the Versailles 48. Lascano gets everybody on the same page. 1:35 to go. Hornets down 10. Lascano steps up, fires deep down the right side. It is caught. Boyd's got it at the 10, down to the 8-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, Hornets. Clock will stop to move the chains. 1:24 to go.
Finally, one of those deep passes worked out. It looked like Versailles was kind of waiting on it again, but finally, Kirtland is able to get a break. Pierce Boyd with a nice grab there.
The Master Chef. 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. Lascano, pitch out. Mason Russ to the 5, to the 4-yard line, and down there. Remember, the Hornets can't stop the clock, so...
Do you almost consider kicking a field goal
I almost do here. And you know what?
I think that's what they're doing. No, it's not.
No,
sorry, excuse me.
They brought in Phil LaVerde to play fullback. 1 minute to go. 2nd and goal. Give Mason Russ about a yard, and that's it. Again, the Hornets cannot stop the clock. It's 3rd and goal. And if anything, they should have clocked it maybe after that first down didn't work.
And we got a player.
There's an injured Versailles Tiger at the 4-yard line. I think it's Carter Luthman down. And it's an official's timeout. Now, unfortunate for Versailles. Luthman's played a pretty good game tonight. It's going to be 3rd and goal, so now Tiger LaVerde can figure out here what they want to do. 44 seconds to go. I'm with you. I would have thought maybe after you had it down, thinking about kicking a field goal, and you say, well, geez, guys, but you're going to need 2 scores anyway.
May as well give yourself a chance.
Give yourself maybe a little extra time for the onside. But, if you can punch it in here on this play, get that touchdown, and then you go to the onside, then you would only need the field goal to tie.
Now, I don't believe we've had time. You mentioned Pierce Boyd after that great catch.
Yes.
I'm not sure if we've had time to tell that.
So Ashley Collins was telling us before the game, and you see Ashley on Bally Sports on Bruce Drennan's show. She's working Spectrum on the sidelines tonight, and she was saying, Pierce Boyd is an aspiring chef, and he's already served many delicacies for the Hornets. I mean, just amazing culinary abilities, and it seems like that's going to be his life's pursuits. And I will look forward to someday eating dinner at the House of Boyd, restaurant or whatever you want to call it. I mean, he really is a good chef.
Certainly
and he
served up something great with that catch.
Yeah, he did. 3rd and goal. Pitch out to Russ. Follows his blocks and dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Kirtland, with 37 seconds to go. The Hornets stay alive. And they will set themselves up for an onside kick opportunity with 37 seconds to go as Mason Russ gets his 26th touchdown of the season. That was a good drive for Mason Russ, by the way.
Couple of
really good
nice
runs.
plays, couple of good throws by Ramon Lascano, and
very important Ragu's extra point here to make it a 3-point deficit. And we've got an official's timeout here.
You might be reviewing this.
Probably, yeah. And I almost every time they've done this weekend, it has still turned out to be the call that was on the field standing on these end zone replays. But, you know, it's a significant moment.
I did think it was close when he went down, that he was
very
very kind of near that goal line, and then I got the signal. We see the play here. I don't see anything from that angle that could overturn it.
No, I don't either. Let's see. We get a better view here, kind of from the end zone dive. Yeah, I think he got in.
I think it's a touchdown.
Yeah, I did too.
Don't blame him for looking at it.
Well, this has been now. The Hornets have scored 13 points here in the 4th quarter. I mean, there have been several times where you can say their obituary has been written, and they've refused to go quietly. By the way, Big Ten championship game has moved to halftime in Indianapolis. Michigan leading Iowa 14-3. Wolverines trying to lock up a Big Ten title and a berth in the college football playoffs. Alabama, your SEC champs, they really dominated Georgia today, and Cincinnati won. So I mean, okay, the touchdown does stand by Mason Russ. We'll see what the college football playoff ends up being tomorrow at noon. Pretty sure it's probably going to be Alabama, Michigan, if that score holds in Indy, Cincinnati, and Georgia. All right, Ragu's to try to make it a 3-point deficit. Ball down. Kick is blocked. Kick is blocked by Versailles. Huge block.
You still have a shot if you're Kirtland, but
absolutely. Now you're gonna have to go the distance here if you recover the onside kick. Otherwise, it's ball game.
Boy, oh boy. With everything that's gone wrong, now a missed extra point for Kirtland.
That looked like Connor. I'm gonna take my glasses off. Connor Stonebreaker. Another great football name. Connor Stonebreaker on that block. And if Kirtland recovers this onside kick, that's going to really be a significant block. All right, Johnny Ragu's, no pressure. You just need the best onside kick of your life here to keep things going. Kirtland trailing 20-16 with 37 seconds to go. It will set up the onside. As I look, though, Gage Sullivan has the tee. He's the punter, and he might be their designated onside kicker. I think he is, actually.
Never heard of a designated onside kicker, but it makes sense, and I think it's something more teams should employ.
Yeah. He's their best all-around player, offense, defense, and special teams.
We've seen that tonight.
And he has been a 4-year absolute stud for the Hornets, and Versailles will take a timeout here to talk about it. They'll have one timeout remaining. Gage Sullivan, 2 years ago on this field, had a huge catch of a Liam Powers pass to help power the Hornets to the second of their 3 consecutive state championship games. He's been, you mentioned he broke the school record this year for receiving yards and receiving touchdowns in a season. He's a brilliant defensive player, comes from a great family of Kirtland football. Mason Sullivan was an outstanding player in his own right here at Kirtland, and he hasn't gone down without a fight tonight. Lascano, the senior, has struggled tonight, but Ramon now 5 of 11 passing for 101 yards, and he's played better in the 4th quarter. Mason Russ has picked it up. Guys like Jonathan Withrow, proud Kirtland football players. And if it ends here, it will not have ended with. It will have ended with this team fighting to the very last moment to preserve this outstanding streak. But will come down to the foot of Gage Sullivan to try to keep the game alive for the Hornets. Onside kick attempt. with 37 seconds to go. Kirtland down 4. Here it is. Middle of the field. It's going to be picked up by Versailles at the 42-yard line, and they can now celebrate at Versailles High School as they are about to win their 7th state championship, the first since 2003.
Kind of kicked it right to them. I mean, these onside kicks are such.
They're
it's
so
such a
different.
Chance game anyway.
You can practice so many times. It's just a difficult thing, and it was recovered by Titus Garrett, and Versailles can go to a knee, and
they earn this tonight.
Earn the state championship and end Kirtland's tremendous run. Carson Bay will go to a knee. That's going to do it. Ball game in Canton. The Versailles Tigers are your Division V state champions as they knock off Kirtland 20-16 and end the Hornets' 55-game winning streak. They say all good things must come to an end. And sadly tonight, it came to pass for the Hornets. And a lot of sportsmanship down on the field.
Yep.
Kind of a turning over of the guard, a changing of the guard, if you will. Kirtland, the last 2 years, they've won the championship in Division V. And a sign of respect from champion to champion as the Hornets will give the title over to the Tigers, who, as my partner just said, earned it tonight. I actually apologize. That's the 8th state championship for Versailles. Although on my card here, it had them previously at 6 for 7. So maybe scoreboard might be wrong. Somebody's wrong. But Versailles, we know they are state champions.
Maybe it was one of those poll championships. I don't know.
You know what? It could very well be. They recognize those down here, don't they?
Yes. Well, let's.
Okay.
Maybe I'll bite my tongue before I say something.
I already
regret.
did. Okay.
I got to tell you, Dino, Kirtland made their mistakes tonight. They have nothing to be ashamed of. Nope. This was one of the greatest runs we've ever seen in Ohio high school football. Yes, they came up short tonight. Still a fantastic season. They're going to come up short of Delphos St. John's record, but you know they'll be back next year, ready to fight for it again. And the Versailles, just what an incredible effort. And now they have the Gatorade bath ready for Ryan Jones.
Ryan Jones is about to get wet, and you know what? He's earned it.
Oh, they can't find him.
Oh no, where's Coach? He's probably, he's probably talking on TV as they're about to have the trophy presentation. Coach, you may have to wait to get a bath for a second here as the OHSAA will present the runner-up trophy to Kirtland and then the championship trophy to Versailles. Kirtland, this will be their 4th time as a state runner-up. You look at it, going back to 2011, TC, Kirtland won the championship in 2011, runners-up in 2012, champions in 13, runners-up in 14, champions in 15, runners-up in 17, so they actually missed a year in 2016. That was a reload year. And then runners-up in 2017, and then champions on this very field in 2018, beat Marion Local in Division VI, champions on this very field in 2019, beat Ironton, champions in 2020 over in Massillon, beat Ironton again. And tonight there'll be a runner-up. Yeah, Ryan Jones got his bath. As he has led a proud Versailles Tiger program back to the top of the mountain as state champions here tonight.
They've been waiting a long time for this. I mean, this is a program that so proud in the 90s. They were what Kirtland is today. And just to be where they were, 2 wins only a few years ago, and now here they are back as state champions. And as we mentioned, they had a game plan and it worked. They took it right to Kirtland tonight. They dominated them in every facet of the game. I mean, you look at the yardage, it was 263 all.
Yeah.
It was even yardage, but it really seemed like the Tigers were in control from the get-go. And then Kirtland made their mistakes with the penalties, with the turnovers, fought hard to get back into this game, but in the end, Versailles, you can't say, oh, Kirtland lost this game tonight.
No,
Versailles took this.
No apologies necessary for the Tigers. They earned it. They played a terrific football game tonight. They as I said earlier, you felt like they took all the strengths that Kirtland had, and all the thing we talked about before the game, the ability to run the football, a tough defense, getting off the field on third downs, no mistakes. They keep the penalties to a minimum. A turnover margin coming into tonight that was plus 15. And all those things got turned on their head, and against the Hornets, who are now getting that runner-up trophy. And I think Gage Sullivan went out to accept it for the Hornets. And, it's not the trophy they wanted to bring home, but another fantastic year for the Kirtland Hornets program. And there'll be tears, but nothing to hang their heads over. They played well. And I'm just looking at Gage Sullivan as the Tigers are about to get the championship trophy, and Sullivan, clapping and encouraging his teammates to follow suit. As I said, it really is kind of a passing of the torch, so to speak, and the seniors for the Tigers holding a banner. I'm sure there's some significance for that, and they'll get the championship trophy that they so well deserved.
And that, to me, with Sullivan and encouraging his teammates to clap for the Versailles team.
It's a class move. It starts with the coaching staff, the administration at Kirtland, the community, and
I would expect nothing less.
I would expect nothing less than class, and that's exactly, a lot of times, TC, we see these celebrations, the team that loses turns their back, starts walking towards the locker room. Not the case. Tiger LaVerde is going to talk to the team as soon as they finish this the ceremony here, and and another thing to think about here is, if you're an underclassman and you're a Hornet and you're sitting here and you're watching this and you're feeling terrible, and I'm looking at guys like Gino Blasini, George Prusak, Phil LaVerde, guys that'll be back next year, Danny Alfieri. They'll remember this, and it's going to be a motivator in the off season. I'm telling you, folks, I guarantee you, tomorrow morning, that weight room at Kirtland High School will be open, and there are going to be guys going to work and saying, let's start thinking about getting it back.
I think back to when this winning streak began, with that loss to Marion Local in the 2017 title game. That motivated them throughout that 2018 season. They went 15-0. They beat Marion Local right here on this field. You and the rest of our crew were there calling that game. And it's just built and built and built. And it was going to have to end at some point. It's a shame that it had to end tonight. But, again, they have nothing to be ashamed of. They have nothing to be ashamed of.
You've got an elite program that continues to bring up quality kids, quality athletes with quality coaches. You're going to have a renovated field, an updated facility coming. The future just couldn't be. And you have Tiger LaVerde. And you know what? You have Tiger LaVerde. And you know what? You have a lot of things to feel real good about, and nobody can ever take this championship run away. Again, championships in 2011, 13, 15, 18, 19, and 20 with 55 straight wins. And that's something that's going to be remembered and talked about
and there will be more.
Celebrated for years to come. And like you said, the future, there will be more. There will be more excitement.
I feel very confident in saying that their run will not end at 6 championships. There will be more first-place trophies to add to that case. And this is only going to motivate them more on that journey.
Couple of just things to put a bow on the season, and then TC and I will get a final game story here for you on WKYC.com. Have some final thoughts, not just for tonight, but also for the season, and kind of put a bow on this 2021 season here in Canton. As Tyler said, as far as stats go, total offense was 263 apiece. Kirtland was able to get quite a bit of those yards in the fourth quarter as they were mounting a comeback. But as we said, some of the numbers that really stood out tonight, 8 penalties for 75 yards for the Hornets. They also turned it over 4 times. And Versailles on third down conversions, 6 of 12. They were 1 of 2 on fourth down conversions. and they held the ball for 31 out of the 45 or so minutes of the game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that to me was the key, just controlling it from the get-go. It really seemed like from that first series, I told you, I can't remember seeing Kirtland just overpowered on any series, let alone the first drive of the game like they had then. And then they kind of came back down, and oh my goodness, it looks like they're going to tie or take the lead. They have to settle for a field goal, and it just seemed like it kind of snowballed from there with the mistakes they made. They couldn't take advantage of their opportunities, especially late, and Versailles did. From night in, and from the first quarter onward. And Carson Bay, we've said it.
He's your player of the game. He was brilliant throwing and running.
228 total yards, 2 touchdowns. Just made men miss all night long.
Stretch drives, extended drives with his arm and his legs. I was really impressed. A lot of people came in and his stats look good, but we don't know how good of a thrower he's going to be. If that was one weakness, so to speak, it was, okay, well, can he make big throws on big occasions? He made every big throw tonight. I mean, he was just dynamite throwing the football.
Exactly, and just when it seemed like, I think you and I both thought at the end of the first half, here comes Kirtland.
Yeah.
When they stopped them on
Definitely.
when they sacked him and then stopped them on 4th down, here comes Kirtland. Versailles, I thought, did a great job of not panicking, just sticking to their game plan. They got a 3-and-out on that very first series and then go right back down the field, make it a 3-possession game. That, to me, was the ultimate turning point.
Yeah.
The fact that they did not let that big snafu at the end of the second quarter get to them.
Yep.
They had the discipline that Kirtland, while they normally have it in every other game they played, really didn't have tonight as far as the fundamentals. And even on some normal plays where they didn't commit penalties, they could maybe be over-aggressive at times and miss some tackles and whatnot. They executed, Versailles did, Kirtland did not. And you know what? It's football. Sometimes that happens.
Yep.
Kirtland does it more often than not, and I'm sure they'll live to fight another day and do it again. It's only, it's December, so 8.5 months before the kickoff.
That's what I mean. It's like, I'm telling you, they're going to be juniors and sophomores that are going to be in the weight room tomorrow morning starting to already think ahead. That's the way this program works, and Kirtland will be back, and we expect nothing but good things from Tiger LaVerde's team in the future. All right, that's going to kind of put a bow on the night and the season for us here as we wrap up 2021, and phenomenal weekend. 3 electrifying state championship games. 4 Northeast Ohio teams were here, but we covered 3 of them with live games. And Tyler, this is gonna be a fun. It's like all of a sudden now it's like, oh, we're done. Man, I was having so much fun. But this is it for season number 4 of the Game of the Week. And as we said earlier, we ventured to some new places this year. Got to see some old familiar favorites. You got to see Benedictine again, and really 2 amazing games between Benedictine and Walsh Jesuit.
Chardon
we got to see again.
Kirtland, of course. Yeah. We got to see the great St. Ignatius Menor clash, as you mentioned earlier.
And a young emerging team in North Royalton, playing Highland, wire to wire. This was another fun season in Northeast Ohio. We went 50-50 this weekend in state championship games, but Holben will be back. Kirtland will be back. Chardon now 2-time defending champions. St. Edward back at the top of the mountain in Division I. And just a great season. And again, a season of challenges for these programs because of COVID-19. But yet, once you get under the lights on Friday night, the coaches and the kids never let it show, and they just give it all they have, and it's pretty amazing. And
it finally seemed like we had just a little bit of normalcy again, and we still have a lot of challenges that we're going through with the pandemic and with other things, and there were still some things that we had to navigate this year. But it's nice to just for a few hours each Friday night or sometimes Saturdays like tonight just to kind of lose yourself in the majesty that is high school football here in Ohio.
Did you just come up with "Lose Yourself" as Eminem is playing on the speaker? That's fantastic.
That was completely by accident.
That's well done. That's well done.
I did not mean to do that at all.
That's well done.
Yes, there are so many important things going on in the world right now, and we need to focus on that.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have this. Last year, we were so grateful just to have a season, as weird as it was with the truncated schedule and the expanded playoffs and then barely having any fans in the stands. This year, to have everybody back, to have that atmosphere again, and to have the state championships back where they belong.
Yes.
At Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, it just felt perfect. And I hope here's to many, many more to come.
Yeah, many, many more games of the weeks. And by the way, fans, tip of the cap to you for voting all year long for our game of the week and our playoff performers. We had record listenerships during the course of playoff games. Not state champ. I think our all-time record is still what, Menor and St. Edward. I think from 2 years ago.
Well, Menor and St. Edward. That was probably number one. This year, Medina St. Edward came pretty close, and had it been a little bit closer down the stretch,
yeah, we would have probably even had
it
more.
would have broken that record.
But a tip of the cap to all of you for watching and listening and supporting this. Tip of the cap to our digital content director, Denise Pulverine, who lets us come out and do this fun high school football thing that we get to do on Friday nights, and now in this case on a Saturday night. It's a treat. It's a thrill, and as I said last night, after doing 2 games, I got the best job in the world. I get to call high school football on a Friday night in Stark County. I mean, what else? What's better than that? I can't think of anything. All right, and also a big thanks to Chick-fil-A, our partner throughout the year. Again, a reminder, Chick-fil-A is your home of the Originals Chicken Sandwich. Get yourself some Chick-fil-A in Cleveland, Akron, and Canton, and tell them Dino and TC sent you, and get the sandwich without the pickle. That's what I'm saying. That's my last thought on our friends. But again, salute to Chick-fil-A for being our partner sponsor this year for the WKYC Game of the Week. So that'll do it from Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. For Tyler Carey, I'm Dave DiNatale. Your final score one last time here in 2021 of the Division V State Championship game. Congratulations to the Versailles Tigers. They win tonight over Kirtland 20-16.